think I just called him. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Commissioner Hughes. This is the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar for Thursday, July 3rd. The court's orders for the taking of DNA samples and fingerprints issued on the first calendar of July will apply to the hearings on this calendar. As we get started in here this afternoon, I will call each of you into the courtroom one at a time. I'll ask one of you to stand behind this gray podium here in front of me in the courtroom. For those of you that can't see it, there is a gray podium right here in front of me. I will ask the next 2 people that I intend to call into the courtroom to line up in the 2 blue chairs right inside this door. As you can see, there are a lot of you here on this calendar. If you would please listen carefully for your name and follow from the second chair to the first chair into the courtroom. I promise you all that will make this calendar go much faster than if you just came from the chair you were in right now into the courtroom. So please do that for me. We'll get everybody where they need to go a little bit faster if you guys will do that, please. Once you work your way into the courtroom, the first thing I will do is ask you to state your full name and date of birth. After that, I will explain to you why you're here this afternoon. Those of you here on a criminal case, you have the right to the assistance of counsel. I will tell you when you're in the courtroom whether you qualify for a court-appointed lawyer. Those lawyers are sometimes called public defenders. Whether or not you qualify for a public defender, you always have the right to hire a private lawyer to defend you if you wish to. When you're in the courtroom, I will also give you the next court hearing dates and times that you'll be required to attend after this court hearing. And then we will go over whether you are legally eligible for release from custody. If you are, we will talk about on what terms and conditions you could be released. In addition to that right to the assistance of counsel, you all also have the right to remain silent. Unless you have made arrangements with a private lawyer, there will not be a lawyer in the courtroom this afternoon for your defense. Anything that you do choose to say in the courtroom this afternoon, though, could be used against you. Because you won't have a lawyer in here to guide you and give you advice, I will encourage all of you not to make any statements regarding the facts about why you're here. I encourage you all to save any questions, comments, statements you might have about the facts that brought you here for a hearing where you have legal counsel present before you make any statements on the recording that you can't take back. Last thing I'll tell you all before we get started is that all of the information you get while you're standing in the courtroom will be provided to you in a written document called a release order. You will get a copy of that when you're done in the courtroom and you step back into the room that you're in right now. So please don't feel like you need to memorize what information you get in the courtroom, but please keep that paperwork with you wherever you go from here. As long as you have that paperwork come tomorrow, next week, you'll still be able to look back at it and have all the information you got while you were in the courtroom. One more quick advisement, and then we will start calling people. If you are the victim of a crime with a case pending before this court, please be advised that you have rights under Arizona law. Among others, those rights include the right to be treated with fairness, respect, and dignity, the right to a speedy trial, to be present at all court proceedings, to choose whether or not to be interviewed by the defendant or the defendant's attorney. As a crime victim, you also have the right to be heard before the court makes a decision on release, negotiation of a plea, scheduling, and sentencing. You also have the right to receive restitution from a person who is convicted of causing you a loss. If you are the victim of a crime pending before this court and you have not been provided a written statement of the victim's rights under Arizona law, please contact the Victim Services Division of the Prosecutor's Office in charge of your case. It will either be the County Attorney's Office or the Attorney General's Office. Okay, if I could start by asking Tisha James to come into the courtroom, please. Alina, if you would please work your way to the first chair. Alina or Alina Choi. If you would please work your way to the first chair right inside this door. Jesse Rodriguez, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Good afternoon. Can I please have your name and date of birth
Letitia James, 11/4/1974.
Thank you, Ms. James. We have you here this afternoon because a clerical error was made in the paperwork you got when you were originally seen. So I'm recalling you on the same matter that you were heard on yesterday. No new charges.
Okay.
So same charges. You're still entitled to a lawyer. Your release conditions are not changing in any way. The error was to the court that you were to be sent to next. So your next court date was wrong and the court you were going to be sent to was wrong. So I'm calling you to give you new court dates and send you to a new court and provide you with paperwork that has the correct court dates.
Okay.
So once you leave this court, your next court hearing is going to be a status conference on July 8th, and then you'll have a preliminary hearing July 10th. They'll be at 8:30 in the morning, and they're going to be in the Superior Court downtown.
Okay.
I think previously you were being sent to a justice court, and that was the error. So everything is still the same. Your charges are the same. You're still entitled to a lawyer. Your bond amount is still the same. You just have court hearings on the 8th and the 10th in the Superior Court downtown. So if you have your old paperwork, you can disregard that, and please keep this paperwork here because it's going to have your correct court dates on it.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
Well, I was hoping you would release me on the OR.
Oh, I can't re-review the release decisions that were already made because I'm not the one that did the preliminary probable cause determination. It just came to my attention that your court dates were wrong, and I didn't want to just send paperwork to you. I wanted to talk to you in case you had confusion about what was going on.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Ms. James. Like I said, please keep that paperwork.
All right.
Okay, Elena Choi, if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, would you please work your way into the courtroom? Jesse Rodriguez, thank you for shifting over. If I could have Enrique Leyva Hernandez in the second chair, please. Can I please have your name and date of birth?
Elena Kim Choi, May 11, 1984.
Thank you very much, Ms. Choi. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of disorderly conduct and 1 count of assault. They are both Class 1 misdemeanors. Based on my review of the information provided to me by law enforcement, I have found probable cause to support those allegations. Because they are misdemeanor allegations, you are not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. If you wish to have a lawyer defend you against these allegations, you will have to hire a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing, July 29th. It will be at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Surprise Municipal Court. I have received a written statement from the alleged victim in this case. It has also come to my attention that the alleged victim is perhaps interested in making an oral statement to the court before any determination on release. Assuming that's true, I will kick the floor over to the alleged victim to make that statement. Ms. Choi, I ask that if the alleged victim in this case does elect to make an oral statement, that you please keep your attention directed at the court. Please just watch me while that statement's happening. Okay, to the extent I do have an alleged victim in the courtroom who wishes to address the court regarding release conditions, the floor is yours.
Hello, ma'am. How you doing? I just want to first want to say I apologize for, of course, going through this motion. What I got to say is, so when the incident, the situation happened yesterday, there was no, from my part, there was no saying that anything happened with the physical abuse. It just was under the discretion of the officer to make his decision. So going forward, it just, as anyone would wish, is kind of like just, go back to the way we were and having, going back to our normal sense of, our household. And it was just a one-time incident for us and just a hiccup, just a, dispute that we had up front, but, we worked through, tough times, and this is first ever that we're kind of dealing with the situation. So both of us, it's our new process that we're going forward. And I just wish that, of course we want to erase what happened, but it was just a, a discussion and a dispute that we had last night. And going forward, we will work on it. We have other agencies, marriage counseling that we can seek, and other agencies while being in the military that I can seek out and, go forward. So I hope this get settled and pretty much kind of discharged if possible.
Okay, and if I could ask you one question, in circumstances such as these, I typically order that the defendant not be allowed to have contact with the alleged victim. It looks like, assuming you're the same person that provided the written victim impact statement, that it is your desire for the defendant to be released.
Yes.
Would it also be your desire to have the court impose a no victim contact order so that the defendant is prohibited from having contact with you?
No, for my part, I don't wish that upon it. I know this is something that happened and we'll work through it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Based on the written victim impact statement and oral statements made by the alleged victim in court, I am going to release you, Ms. Choi, on your own recognizance. That means you will be released from custody. You will be responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearing, July 29th at 1:30. As I indicated, I typically order that you not have contact with the alleged victim. However, because the alleged victim does not wish for a no victim contact order, I will authorize contact. However, upon release, you will be prohibited from possessing any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. And Ms. Choi, please note that if a valid order of protection is served upon you that then prohibits contact, that order of protection will override this court order. So to the extent that the alleged victim in this case has a change of heart, changes his mind, or something else happens that causes him to believe he needs a no victim contact order and he seeks an order of protection, you would be ordered to comply with the terms of that order. Okay, do you understand those conditions, Ms. Choi, and agree that you'll abide by them upon release?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. We're going to get your paperwork printed. We'll bring it out to you. You can step back to your left and you will be released probably here in the next couple hours.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, you are free to stay if you wish. You're also free to be excused.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Okay, Jesse Rodriguez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Emilio Dominguez, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Jesse P. Rodriguez, 10/21/77.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. You are here on two different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of dangerous drug possession for sale, 2 counts of narcotic drug possession for sale. Those 3 are class 3 felonies, 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, 1 count of possession or use of a weapon in a drug offense, 1 count of narcotic drug possession, and 2 counts of narcotic drug possession, 1 count of dangerous drug possession. Those last 5 counts are all class 4 felonies. I did find probable cause to support all those new felony allegations. You're also here on an allegation that those new charges violated term 1 of your probation. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you in each the new case and the probation case. Your next court hearing on the new allegations will be a status conference July 9th and then a preliminary hearing July 11th. Your next hearing in the probation case will be a revocation arraignment July 10th. All of those hearings will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On the new allegations, you have a $25,000 secured appearance bond, but on the probation matter, you are not eligible for release on bond. That means you will be held in custody without bail at least until you see the probation judge on July 10th. Because you will not be eligible for release at least until after that hearing on the 10th in the probation case, you should wait until after that hearing before attempting to post the bond on the new allegations. Do you understand that information?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. You can step back and get your paperwork. Enrique Leyva Hernandez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Wilfredo Rincon, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Enrique Leo Hernandez, 10/01/92.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leyva Hernandez. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. It is a class 4 felony. I did find probable cause to support that allegation and appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference July 9th and then a preliminary hearing July 11th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that allegation, you have a $25,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot return to the scene where any of the events giving rise to that allegation took place. You also are prohibited from possessing any weapons if you are released from custody or from having contact with any alleged witnesses or co-defendants. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir. You can step back and get your paperwork. Emilio Dominguez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Paul Ransom, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Emilio Dominguez, April 1st, 1992.
Thank you, Mr. Dominguez. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession, 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, 1 count of manufacturing dangerous drugs, 1 count of marijuana possession. Those are all class 4 felonies. 1 count of taking contraband into a correctional facility, which is a class 5 felony. 1 count of drug paraphernalia possession and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence. Those last 2 are class 6 felonies. I have found probable cause to support all of these allegations with the exception of the manufacturing dangerous drugs allegation. I did not find probable cause to support that allegation. My finding of no probable cause does not mean that allegation is legally dismissed. It is still possible that the county attorney's office will file charges on that, but my finding of no probable cause at this hearing means that I've not considered that allegation in determining your release conditions. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, and I've appointed the public defender's office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference July 9th and then a preliminary hearing July 11th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, you have a $50,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons, any drugs without a valid prescription, or any alcohol. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dominguez. You can sit back and get your paperwork. Wilfredo Rincon, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Chris Jones, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Wilfredo Rincon, 11779.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rincon. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of dangerous drug possession and 1 count of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. They are both class 4 felonies. I did find probable cause to support those allegations, and I appointed the public defender's office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference July 9th and then a preliminary hearing July 11th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, you have a $25,000 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rincon. You can step back and get your paperwork. Paul Ransom, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Decorian Banks, if you would please work your way to the second chair.
Your Honor, I'm going to appear on this one.
Okay, on Mr. Ransom?
Yes.
Okay. Officer, would you move over, please? Yes. Thank you. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Paul Ransom, June 14, 1949.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ransom. You are here, oh, I'm sorry, appearance of counsel for the state.
John Sauer for the state.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sauer. Mr. Ransom, you are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of fraudulent schemes and artifices, a class 2 felony, 1 count of aggravated taking the identity of another, a class 3 felony, 2 counts of forgery, both class 4 felonies, 2 counts of identity theft, both class 4 felonies, another count of forgery for possessing a forged instrument, that is also a class 4 felony, 1 count of theft or being in control of a credit card unlawfully, that's a class 5 felony, 1 count of shoplifting, 1 count of driving on a suspended license, those 2 are class 1 misdemeanors, and finally 1 count of knowingly displaying a false or fictitious license plate. Based on the information provided to me by law enforcement, I am inclined to find probable cause to support these allegations. Ms. Sauer, anything that the state wishes the court to consider in addition to what's in the Form 4 regarding probable cause?
Yes, Your Honor. First of all, the state did not submit a recommendation on this one, did we?
I don't have one. I thought maybe that's why you wanted to appear.
Yes, I believe it was overlooked, but the state was contacted by the detective a few minutes ago, and the detective is requesting that the defendant be held on bond, stating that the defendant is the subject of multiple police investigations. They are working on charging paperwork for additional felony charges via page 2, which is going to be completed this afternoon. On top of that, and looking over the Form 4, it looks like the defendant has a long criminal history, including armed robbery, assault with intent to kill, firearms felony. The list goes on there. Looks like the defendant is also a flight risk with ties to Nevada and convictions in multiple states. The state is requesting a $50,000 cash bond.
Okay, thank you. I'll get to you. Let me back up just 1 second. So I did find probable cause to support the booked allegations. Mr. Ransom, it sounds like the state has information to believe that law enforcement might still be investigating and or charging other allegations against you. I want you to understand that to the extent that is true, that information does not play into my determination of your release conditions on this case. For purposes of this hearing, I'm only seeing you on the allegations. I'm only seeing you and considering and imposing release conditions on the allegations that I just read. I have determined you're entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. So from this hearing going forward, you will have court-appointed counsel. Your next court hearings will be a status conference July 9th and then a preliminary hearing July 11th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. You have heard the lawyer for the state request a $50,000 cash bond in this matter. Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I also wanted to point out that multiple identities, and that was another reason for the request of the bond and the concern that there's a flight risk.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sauer. Okay, Mr. Ransom, I will give you an opportunity to address the court. I will remind you, anything that you say in this hearing could be used against you, and you don't have a lawyer present. As you know, the state's lawyer is in here, and so anything that you say will not only be captured on the audio recording, but will be heard live by the state's lawyers. So I will give you an opportunity to address the court. I will ask, though, that you limit your remarks to any information that you want the court to consider in regards to establishing your release conditions, and that you tread very lightly not to go into the underlying facts about why you're here.
Yes.
Okay, any information you'd like me to consider regarding release?
All I want to say, Your Honor, is that I haven't had any crime of violence since I was in my 20s. I mean, I'm now in my 70s. You know, she's going back 50 years. Yes, there was violence in my 20s, but after that, not one single case was anything violent ever.
Okay. Anything else that you wanted to address?
No, that was it.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ransom. I do have a criminal history pulled for me. I will note, I did see the Form 4. I did see that law enforcement indicated there was a history of felony criminal convictions. However, the criminal history pulled for me indicates that there are no felony convictions. I don't know if the timing is the result of that. I don't know if it only goes back a certain amount of time or not. I do show some criminal history out of Maryland, but to your point, Mr. Ransom, it looks like that was sometime in the 80s. So I don't know, maybe criminal cases out of Oregon and Hawaii that are reported with no disposition. So all of that to say, I think that there is conflicting information regarding the extent of your criminal history. So I am going to base my release conditions primarily on the nature of the allegations against you. I do not take lightly the state's position that based on the allegation that you possessed multiple documents of varying identities, that the nature of that could indicate that you would pose a flight risk. I do have substantial concerns about also the nature of these allegations, the fact that they are victim crimes, the fact that individuals in the community have allegedly been victimized by your conduct. I also have some concern based on the extent and duration. At least according to the Form 4, this doesn't appear to be an isolated incident. It appears to be, as the first booking charge indicates, a scheme to defraud members of the Arizona population. So because of those factors, I am persuaded that a substantial bond is necessary in this case. I am going to impose a $15,000 cash-only bond. If you post that bond, you will be prohibited, if you post that and you are released, you will be prohibited from having contact with any alleged victims or witnesses of any of the underlying allegations. You also will be prohibited from going to any Home Depot in the state of Arizona. You cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription if you are released from custody. Ms. Sauer, anything else I need to address?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Ransom, do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. We will get your paperwork printed. We'll bring it out to you if you'll take a step back to your left.
Okay, thanks.
Chris Jones, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Carlton Williams, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Yes, Chris A. Jones, November 3rd, 1958.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of theft of a means of transportation. It is a Class 3 felony. I have found probable cause to support that allegation, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference July 9th and then a preliminary hearing July 11th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On this allegation, you have a $2,500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot have contact with any alleged victims or witnesses, and you cannot possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yeah, but I'm just confused. You said the bond is how much?
It is $2,500 secured appearance.
So that's, I'm just trying to figure out, so that's 250 with the bond.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what a bonding company would require. My general understanding is that most require somewhere between 10 and 20% down. But if you want to go through a bonding company, you can find a list of them back in the jail and start making calls and see what they might require.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions, Mr. Jones?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. Decorian Banks, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Terry Crane, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Decorian Banks, 10/13/95.
Thank you, Mr. Banks. You are here on 2 probation violation warrants. In both cases, petitions to revoke your probation allege that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer for you in both cases. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing July 10th. It will be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On these 2 warrants, you have a total secured appearance bond of $1,750. It is $1,500 on one of the warrants, $250 on the second. So $1,750 total. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Banks. You can step back and get your paperwork. Carlton Williams, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Salvador Ramirez Vega, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Carlton Williams, 9/26/83.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing July 10th. It will be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $750 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Williams. Terry Crane, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. James Mitchell, if you'd please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Pardon me?
Name, are you hard of hearing?
No.
Oh, I didn't know if you didn't hear me or if I just spoke too fast. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Terry Mark Crane, 4/17/1960.
Thank you, Mr. Crane. You are here on a warrant issued by the Payson Justice Court for your arrest in a case involving a misdemeanor assault allegation. If you don't already have a lawyer assigned to you in that case, you are entitled to a lawyer at a minimum for purposes of release conditions. So a lawyer will be appointed for you by the next judge you see at your next court hearing. That hearing is going to be an arraignment hearing July 9th. It will be at 8:30 in the morning in the Payson Justice Court. On that warrant, you have a $500 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you're released from custody, you will be responsible for getting yourself to the Payson Justice Court on July 9th, and you also could not have any contact with the alleged victim of the underlying assault allegation to the extent you know who that person is. If you're released from custody, you also cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Crane. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Okay.
Salvador Ramirez Vega, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Marlisa Victor, if you'd please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
My name is Salvador Ramirez Vega, 10/07/1980.
Thank you,
I just wanted to say, I did call to schedule my date. I just haven't talked to my attorney. I'm supposed to defend me. So I'm trying to reach him to redo the case because I called, but I called kind of late.
Okay, so it sounds like you know why you're here. You're here on a bench warrant that was issued after you failed to appear at a hearing. It looks like that hearing was a status conference in an existing felony drug case. You do have a lawyer assigned to represent you already. Sounds like you know that. That lawyer is going to continue to represent you in this case. Your next court hearings are going to be a new status conference July 9th, and then you're going to have a preliminary hearing July 11th. They'll both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. When you get to your court hearing on the 9th, your lawyer will be present in court. So if you cannot reach your lawyer before then, at a minimum, you'll have your lawyer in court on that court hearing date. The judge that issued that warrant has indicated that you have a $500 secured appearance bond, so you will have to post that in order to be eligible for release here today.
Okay, can I say something about that one? Like I said, I called it to reschedule it. I try to make it, and I try to fix like if there's any way you could give me another chance, I'm gonna show up to it. But the thing is, like I shouldn't have been charged for that. Because like I got assaulted by security guard.
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm not seeing you on the underlying allegations. So I don't have any control over the underlying drug charges. That's all information that you want to talk to your lawyer about. I understand that you say that you have been trying to contact your lawyer. Please keep doing that. But none of that information changes the fact that the judge that issued that warrant did so when he called your case that day and you were not there. So you will have to post that bond in order to be eligible for release.
I don't have that money, man.
All right, if you don't post it, you'll stay in custody and be transported to your next hearing. Go ahead and step back and get your paperwork.
But ma'am, can you please help me?
Go ahead and step back to your left, please. James Mitchell, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Mary McGraw, if you'd please take a seat in the second chair.
What do you call first?
James Mitchell? Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
James Mitchell, 10/24/86.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. You are here on 3 different matters. The first matter that you're here on is allegations of new charges. Those allegations are 1 count of narcotic drug possession and 1 count of dangerous drug possession. They are both class 4 felonies. The other 2 matters you're here on are both allegations that those new drug charges violated term 1 of your probation in both of your probation cases. I have appointed a lawyer for you in all 3 cases. Your next court hearing on the new drug charges will be a status conference July 9th, and then you'll have a preliminary hearing in that new case on July 11th. Your next court hearing in the 2 probation matters will be a revocation arraignment July 10th. All of those hearings will be at 8:30, and they'll all be in the Superior Court downtown. On the new allegations, you have a $50 secured appearance bond. On each of the 2 probation matters, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. So your total bond will be $550. It is all secured appearance. If you post that and you are released, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mitchell. You can step back and get your paperwork. Marlisa Victor, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Reason Dunkelbarger, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Marlisa Victor, 4178.
Thank you very much, Ms. Victor. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing July 10th. It will be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Victor. You can step back and get your paperwork. Mary McGraw, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Christine Robinson, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Mary McGraw, 9/29/1980.
Thank you, Ms. McGraw. You are here on a probation violation warrant. A petition to revoke your probation alleges that you have violated terms 3 and 5. I have appointed a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be a revocation arraignment hearing July 10th. It will be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. On that warrant, you have a $250 secured appearance bond. If you post that and you are released from custody, you are ordered not to possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Reason Dunkelbarger, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Keaton Richardson, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Reason Doppelberger, 4/14/69.
Thank you, Mr. Duckelbarger. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of disorderly conduct involving weapons. It is a Class 6 felony. I did find probable cause to support that allegation, and I've appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference July 17th and then a preliminary hearing July 21st. They will both be at 8:30. They'll both be in the Superior Court downtown. I am inclined to release you to the supervision of pretrial services with several conditions. The first is that you will be required to contact pretrial services upon your release from custody. Their contact information will be provided to you in a packet with your release order. Second condition is you would be required to voluntarily get yourself to both of your next court hearings on the 17th and the 21st. Next, you would be ordered not to have any contact with the alleged victim of the underlying offense. That would mean that you could not reside at the same location as the alleged victim. If you are released from custody and you currently reside with the alleged victim, you would have to find an alternate residence at least until your first hearing on the 17th. You would be entitled to one civil standby with law enforcement, which means a law enforcement officer could escort you to any joint premises if you need that to retrieve personal items you have there that you might need between now and the 17th if you have to find an alternate residence. Upon release, you would also be ordered not to possess any weapons. To the extent you are still in possession of weapons, if you are released from custody, you must dispossess yourself of them. What that means is you'd have to give them to a friend or family member. You could also check them in with local law enforcement if you are more comfortable with that. But in any event, upon release from custody, you cannot be in possession of weapons. Last, you would be ordered not to possess any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription if you were released from custody. Do you understand all of those conditions, Mr. Dunkelbarger, and do you agree that if released, you will abide by them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then those conditions will stand. You can go ahead, step back to your left and get your paperwork. Christine Robinson, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Andrew DeSoma, if you'd work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Christine Robinson, 3/12/70.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. You are here on a failure to appear warrant issued by the West Mesa Justice Court.
Yeah.
The underlying allegations in that case are failing to stay at the scene of an accident and criminal speeding. They're both misdemeanor allegations. Because they are misdemeanor allegations, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. If you don't already have a lawyer working with you in that case, but you want one, you will have to hire one. Your next court hearing on this case will be an arraignment hearing July 22nd. It'll be at 8:30 in the West Mesa Justice Court. I am intending to release you on your own recognizance, which means you would be released and responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearing. Upon release, you would be ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions and agree that if released, you will abide by them?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. Then you'll be released. You can step back and get your
Will I
paperwork.
get out today?
It's only 3 o'clock, so probably, but I don't know how busy they are back there in release.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Keaton Richardson, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Daniel Kuster, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Keaton Richardson, May 6, 1998.
Thank you, Mr. Richardson. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of assault and 1 count of disorderly conduct. They are both Class 1 misdemeanors. Because they are misdemeanor allegations, you are not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. If you wish to be represented, you will have to hire a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing July 22nd. It will be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in the Buckeye Municipal Court. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance with several conditions. First, you would be required to voluntarily get yourself to your court hearing on July 22nd. You would also be ordered not to return to the scene where the underlying events giving rise to these allegations took place. You could not have any contact with the alleged victim. This might mean that if you currently reside with the alleged victim, you would have to find an alternate residence, at least until your first court hearing on the 22nd. You would also be ordered not to possess any weapons or drugs without a valid prescription. You also could not possess or consume any alcohol upon release. Do you understand those conditions, Mr. Richardson, and do you agree that if you are released, you will abide by them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you have a question?
Yes, ma'am. It's just the simple fact that neither one of us has did a non-contact order, and the fact that I'm like the primary leaseholder, and I just paid a $3,000 rent, and right now that's the only place that I have as far as.
So, unfortunately, I don't have an alleged victim in court to talk to on this case, and because of the nature of the allegations, I am not comfortable not imposing a no victim contact order. To put that without using a double negative, I am only comfortable releasing you if there is a no victim contact order in place. These are temporary conditions, so these conditions only apply until your first court hearing on the 22nd. When you get to court on the 22nd, the Buckeye City judge can impose more permanent release restrictions that are more workable. The only other option I have is to put a small bond on this case. The only thing that would change is it would move your court date up from the 22nd to the 9th, so it would get you back before the Buckeye court a little bit sooner, but you would still have to find an alternate, you would have to post that small bond in order to get out, and then you'd still have to find an alternate residence, in that case, just until the 9th as opposed to the 22nd.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you rather have a small bond and a sooner court date, or would you rather be released with no bond and wait until the 22nd?
We can do it at 9th.
Okay. So what I would do is I would put a $25 cash bond on the case. So you'd have to pay $25 to get out, but then your court date would be July 9th.
July 9th at the Maricopa?
No, it would be in the Buckeye court. It'd be in the
Buckeye,
Buckeye Municipal Court out in Buckeye.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's what I will do. It'll be a $25 cash bond. Like I said, you will have to post that to get out, but that will change your court date. That will get you before the Buckeye court on July 9th as opposed to July 22nd. And it will change one more thing. It will make you eligible for a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of that bond issue. So you will get a court-appointed lawyer when you go to your court hearing on the 9th. That lawyer will not represent you against the whole underlying allegation, but will be present to represent you for the bond issue only. Okay, any other questions or things we need to address?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let me finish getting this release order edited. We'll get it printed. We'll bring it out to you if you'll take a step back to your left.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, Andrew DeSoma, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Ishmael Murillo, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Andrew DeSoma, 42296.
Thank you, Mr. DeSoma. You are here on two matters. The first matter you're here on is a felony probation violation warrant. In that case, the petition to revoke your probation alleges that you have violated terms 3, 4, and 5. I've appointed a lawyer to represent you in that probation case. Your next court hearing in that matter will be a revocation arraignment July 10th. It will be at 8:30 in the probation court downtown. You're also here on a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the Peoria Municipal Court in a misdemeanor disorderly conduct case. On that misdemeanor matter, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so if you don't have one, you would have to hire one to represent you. Your next court hearing on that Peoria warrant will be an arraignment hearing July 22nd at 9 o'clock in the Peoria Municipal Court. On both of these matters, I am releasing you on your own recognizance. On the probation matter, that means that upon your release, within 3 days, you will have to check in with your probation officer. You will still be under the supervision of adult probation while you're on release in order to make sure you get to your hearings. Once you're released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons or any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. DeSoma. You can step back and get your paperwork. Daniel Kuster, if you would please work your way to the courtroom. Carlos Gutierrez, if you'd please work your way to the second chair. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name. Can you please state it for me and give me your date of birth?
Daniel Kuster, 03/20/05.
Thank you very much. It is Kuster?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Mr. Kuster, you are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of assault. It is a class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause to support that allegation. Because it is a misdemeanor offense, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. Sorry, that's not true. Because it's a misdemeanor domestic violence offense, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. That lawyer is going to be appointed for you by the next judge you see at your next court hearing. That hearing is going to be an arraignment hearing July 22nd. It's going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning in the North Valley Justice Court. I do intend to release you on your own recognizance. That means you would be released from custody. You would be responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearing. You would also be ordered not to return to the scene where the underlying alleged assault took place. You could not have any contact with the alleged victim of that offense. You would also be prohibited from possessing any weapons or consuming any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. You would be entitled to 1 civil standby if you needed to return to the scene to retrieve any personal items you have there that you might need between now and the 22nd. Okay, Mr. Kuster, do you understand those conditions and do you agree that you will abide by them if you're released?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you very much. I think they're reprinting your paperwork with the appointment of counsel. We'll bring it out to you if you'll step back to your left. Ishmael Murillo, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Spiro Bogas, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. It's Ismael Anthony Murillo Jr., 02/23/2004.
Thank you very much, Mr. Murillo. You are here on an allegation of you're here on a failure to appear warrant. It was issued by the Hacienda Justice Court in a misdemeanor case involving criminal speeding. Because it is a misdemeanor case, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so you will have to hire a lawyer if you don't already have one, but you want one. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing July 23rd. It will be at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Hacienda Justice Court. I am releasing you on your own recognizance, so you will be released from custody. You will then be responsible for getting yourself to that court hearing July 23rd at 9 o'clock. Upon release, you would also be ordered not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription and not to drive a motor vehicle if you don't have a valid driver's license. Do you understand those conditions and agree that you'll abide by them?
Yes, Your Honor. I have one question.
Okay.
So the reason to the failure to court was because paperwork was sent to an address I was no longer residing at.
Okay.
It was a 1942 South 216th Lane when at the time I was living in California and I just moved back here a couple weeks ago for a job opportunity. So I want to see if we can get if there's any paperwork that needs to get sent to anywhere, see if it can get sent to the correct address.
So, yes, this court is not going to mail any paperwork. You're going to get a copy of your paperwork here before you walk out that has your next court date on it.
Yes, ma'am.
But it is important for you to keep your address current with the Hacienda Justice Court, the court where this case is pending. In your release paperwork, you're going to have the phone number to that court. So between now and your hearing on the 23rd, you can give that court a call to update your address. If they won't take an address update over the phone or if you have to fill out a form, you could always do that before your hearing on the 23rd.
Right, roger that. Thank you,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Murillo. You can step back and get your paperwork. Carlos Gutierrez, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Johnny Joya, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Carlos Gutierrez, August 6, 2004.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is 1 count of reckless driving. It is a misdemeanor offense. Because it is a misdemeanor offense, you are not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so you will have to hire a lawyer if you wish to be represented. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing July 17th. It will be at 1:30 in the afternoon in the Encanto Justice Court. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, which means you would be released from custody upon your agreement to voluntarily attend your next court hearing on the 17th at 1:30. You'd also be ordered upon release not to operate a motor vehicle if you don't have a valid driver's license. Do you understand those conditions and agree that you will abide by them if released?
Understood.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Thank you.
Spiro Bogas, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. James Eberly, if you'd work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Spiro Bogas, 06/03/2002.
Thank you, Mr. Bogas. You are here on an allegation of a new charge. That allegation is one count of interfering with judicial proceedings by disobeying a court order. It is a Class 1 misdemeanor. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer on this. That lawyer is going to be appointed for you by the next judge you see at your next court hearing. That hearing is going to be an arraignment hearing July 22nd. It's going to be at 8:30 in the morning in the West Mesa Justice Court. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance, which means you would be released from custody. You would be responsible for getting yourself to that hearing the 22nd at 8:30. Upon release, you would also be ordered to strictly comply with the terms of any orders of protection that have been served upon you.
Okay.
Please know, Mr. Bogas, that those orders of protection, once they're served upon you, they remain valid unless and until the court that issued that order cancels it, revokes it, vacates it, dismisses it. That's true even if the person protected in that order wishes to have contact with you. So if a valid order of protection has been served upon you protecting somebody and that person says, oh, don't worry about that, I still want to have contact with you, your response should be, no, I am under a court order not to have contact with you.
Okay.
And unless and until the court that issued that order eliminates it, you have to comply with that court order. Otherwise, you could keep picking up new failure to comply with court order charges, and you would just have to keep coming back here.
Okay.
Okay. So do you understand that, and do you agree that if you're released, you will abide by any orders of protection served upon you?
I do.
Okay. I do need to have your paperwork reprinted, but we will reprint it, and we'll bring it out to you if you'll step back to your left.
Thank you.
Thank you. Johnny Joya, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Ernest Maestas, if you would please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Johnny Hoya, 9/15/93.
Thank you. It's pronounced Hoya?
Hoya, yeah.
Okay. I got confused because I thought maybe then I had to call you Honey Hoya, and so I just, okay. Thank you, Mr. Hoya. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are one count of reckless driving and one count of driving on a suspended license. They're both misdemeanor allegations. Because they are misdemeanors, you are not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. So if you want to have a lawyer represent you in that case, you'll have to hire a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing July 17th. It will be at 1:30 in the afternoon, and it'll be in the Encanto Justice Court. I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. That means you would be released from custody. You would be responsible for getting yourself to your next court hearing, and you would be ordered upon release not to operate a motor vehicle if you didn't have a valid driver's license. Do you understand those conditions and agree that you'll abide by them if released?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hoya. You can step back and get your paperwork. James Eberly, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Donald Woods, if I could ask you to please work your way to the second chair. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
James Eberly, January 31st, 1949.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eberly. You are here on a failure to appear warrant. It was issued by the East Mesa Justice Court. The underlying allegation is a misdemeanor allegation of driving on a suspended license. Because that is a misdemeanor allegation, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. If you don't already have a lawyer in that case, but you want one, you will have to hire one to represent you. Your next court hearing will be an arraignment hearing July 23rd. It will be at 9 o'clock in the East Mesa Justice Court. I am going to release you on your own recognizance, so you will be released from custody. That means it will be your responsibility to get yourself to the East Mesa Justice Court July 23rd at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Once you're released from custody, you also cannot operate a motor vehicle if you don't, in fact, have a valid driver's license.
Right, I will not do that.
Okay. Do you understand those conditions, Mr. Eberly?
Yes, I do, thank you.
All right, thank you. You can step back and get your paperwork.
Thank you very much.
Ernest Maestas, if you would please work your way into the courtroom. Timothy Wood, if you'd please work your way to the second chair. Will you clear for me after Donald Woods? Okay. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Ernest Maestas, 5/21/1999.
Thank you very much, Mr. Maestas. You are here on a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the West Mesa Justice Court. It looks like the underlying allegation in that matter is a misdemeanor driving under the influence case. Because it is a post-disposition warrant, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer now. If you don't already have a lawyer working with you, you will have to hire a lawyer to represent you going forward in this case. Your next court hearing on that warrant will be an arraignment hearing July 22nd. It'll be at 8:30 in the morning, and it'll be in the West Mesa Justice Court. Mr. Maestas, I am inclined to release you on your own recognizance. That would mean it would be your responsibility to get yourself to court on July 22nd. My records indicate that this warrant was served on you when you were in custody on something else. Do you think that you will be out of custody by July 22nd and able to get yourself to this court hearing?
I'm scheduled to be released on July 15th.
Okay, then I will leave this. I will release you. That means that you'll be responsible for getting yourself to court on the 22nd. Please keep this date in the back of your mind. If you don't end up getting released on the 15th and the 22nd is getting closer and closer, in your release paperwork, you're going to have the phone number to the court that you have to be in on the 22nd. So if it's coming, 16th, 17th, and you're thinking, I might actually still be in custody on the 22nd, please give that court a call and see if they'll reschedule that hearing before you miss it on the 22nd.
Okay.
But if you get out on the 15th, then you don't have to do anything other than go to court on the 22nd.
Understood. Would there be any reason why I wouldn't get on the 15th?
I don't know. I have no idea what else you're in custody for, so I'm not saying you wouldn't. Sometimes these warrants get picked up because you're getting processed for release, but for this warrant, you're already out of custody. Sometimes people come to me and they say, yeah, I'm serving a 40-day sentence, a 30-day sentence. I'm not going to be out by that day. So I didn't want to set you up for failure and not get you transported to court if you knew you were still going to be in custody on that day.
Understood. I appreciate it.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. You can step back and get your paperwork. I still have one more, but okay.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Can I please have Donald Woods into the courtroom? Do we have a court interpreter, or are you just going to call language line?
No, I said somebody else is next.
Okay. Can I have your name and date of birth, please, sir?
Donald Woods, 4/1991.
Thank you very much, Mr. Woods. I'm seeing you here this afternoon on 3 different matters. The first one is a failure to appear warrant issued by the Country Meadows Justice Court. The underlying allegation in that case is a misdemeanor obstruction allegation. The second matter I'm seeing you on is a failure to comply with court terms warrant issued by the Buckeye Municipal Court on a misdemeanor drug paraphernalia possession allegation. In those 2 misdemeanor cases, you're not entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so you would have to hire a lawyer to represent you. Your next court hearing in the Country Meadows warrant will be an arraignment hearing July 17th at 8:30 in the morning. Your next hearing on the Buckeye warrant will be an arraignment hearing July 22nd at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. On both of those warrants, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. The third and final matter that you're here on is a new felony allegation. That is 1 count of narcotic drug possession. It's a class 4 felony. I did not find probable cause to support that allegation. My finding of no probable cause does not mean it's legally dismissed, though. It is still possible that the county attorney's office will file charges on that. But what my finding of no probable cause does mean is that you will also be released on that new felony allegation with no additional release restrictions other than those imposed on the 2 misdemeanor warrants. On that felony allegation, though, if it is charged, you are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer, so I have appointed a lawyer to defend you. I'm also going to give you court dates on that felony allegation. The first one will be a status conference July 17th. The second will be a preliminary hearing the 21st. If the county attorney's office files formal charges on this allegation and you don't go to those court hearings, that court's going to issue a warrant for your arrest. So you are going to get out of custody, but please know that means you're responsible for getting yourself to court for both of those misdemeanor warrants and also on the new felony allegation. Once you're out of custody On those 2 misdemeanor warrants, you cannot possess any drugs without a valid prescription. Do you understand all of that information? Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Woods. You can step back and get your paperwork. Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Hernandez. I have one matter that I have to handle before I can do the Spanish matter. If you don't mind, would you hang on the line for just maybe 3 minutes and then we can use your services?
That's fine, Judge.
Okay, thank you so much.
You bet.
What did he say? I didn't hear. Did you hear what he said, Ms. Sauer? I got one more. Oh, okay, thank you. Sorry. That's okay. Okay, can I please have Timothy Wood into the courtroom? Can I have your name and date of birth, please?
Timothy Wood, 8/18/88.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wood. And I understand that the lawyer for the state wishes to appear on this case. Appearance of counsel for the state, please.
Yes, Your Honor. Don Sauer on behalf of the state.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sauer. Mr. Wood, you're free to keep your attention up towards the court, please. You are here on allegations of new charges. The allegations against you are 1 count of sexual assault, 1 count of kidnapping, those are both Class 2 felonies, 1 count of aggravated assault as a Class 3 felony, 2 counts of aggravated assault as Class 4 felonies, 1 count of unlawful imprisonment, a Class 6 felony, 1 count of threatening and intimidating, and 1 count of assault, those last 2 Class 1 misdemeanors. Based on the information provided to me in a written document from law enforcement called a Form 4, I did find probable cause to support those allegations. You are entitled to a court-appointed lawyer. I have appointed the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your next court hearings will be a status conference July 9th and then a preliminary hearing July 11th. They will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. Ms. Sauer, can I please hear argument and or recommendation regarding release?
Yes, Your Honor. The Form 4 in this case indicates a horrendous course of events that
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
will likely traumatize the victim for years. He held her captive for over 14 days, imprisoned in a shed. He beat her. He forced sex on her under threats of death. He knelt on her neck and impeded her breathing. He tied her down, had the doors locked with chains. He threatened to cut off her foot with a saw, and then he pulled out a saw and actually did injure her foot to some extent. She had to have been under fear that her foot would in fact be cut off when she saw the saw come out and could potentially even be dismembered. She had no idea how far his actions were going to go. Her injuries included swelling to her face, bruising over her entire body, bite marks, a fractured rib. And one other thing worth mentioning is that he dug a hole underneath the shed and he buried her for 2 days. This victim, very well for 14 days, may have been worried that she may not survive this incident. The state is requesting a very high cash bond of $300,000.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sauer. Okay, Mr. Wood, I will give you an opportunity to address the court. I will caution you the same way I have several other people. as you know, you don't have a lawyer in here. Your right to counsel attaches at this hearing. You will have a lawyer going forward. So I am willing to allow you to address the court. I caution you very strongly to avoid talking about the facts of this case because anything you say could be used against you. But if there is anything that you wish for the court to consider in determining what release conditions to impose in this matter, you are free to provide those statements now.
I have 3 kids, and this is just, she just got out of, the loony bin or whatever, I don't know, it's in Mesa. I guess she has these episodes, and when she has an episode, I'm supposed to call her mom. I wasn't home at the time. When I got home, the police were there, and this all just kind of broke out. So if you can look at my record, I haven't been in trouble in 15 years. These are some crazy allegations. That's not me.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Wood. I have reviewed the Form 4. I will echo the state comments that the allegations in the Form 4 do outline horrendous physical injuries. I will state that the Form 4 does also indicate that the alleged victim of this case underwent a forensic nurse examination that did substantiate several of the injuries alleged. Those injuries included swelling and bruising to her face, bruising throughout her body and extremities that did appear to indicate whipping, also several bite marks and a severe laceration to her foot. So I do have some reason to believe that the allegations in the Form 4 from the alleged victim are in at least some part substantiated by a physical medical exam. I have also reviewed a written victim impact statement from the alleged victim in this case. It does echo some of the same sentiments offered by the state's lawyer. It indicates that she was in severe fear during the alleged events, that she is now terrified for her personal safety. Based on these allegations that are in part substantiated, I do have severe concerns for the safety of the alleged victim in this case. I am inclined to impose a substantial bond. I'm going to order a $150,000 cash-only bond. If that bond is posted, you will be released to the supervision of pretrial services and required to wear an ankle monitor for electronic monitoring. If you post that bond and you're released on that ankle monitor, you cannot have any contact whatsoever with the alleged victim of these allegations. You also can't have contact with any complainants or alleged witnesses. Specifically, it's my understanding that the alleged victim went to perhaps a neighbor for purposes of contacting 911. You are prohibited from having contact with that neighbor to the extent you know who that is. You also cannot possess any weapons. You cannot consume any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription if you are released. And if any orders of protection or orders against harassment have been served upon you or are later served upon you, you must strictly comply with the terms of those orders. Anything else I need to address in this matter, Ms. Sauer?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Wood, do you understand all of those release conditions?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. We will get all of that printed in paperwork if it's not already, and we'll get it out to you. You can go ahead and take a step back to your left.
When is my next court date?
The first one is July 9th. July 9th at 8 a.m.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Did I amend that one? No. Okay. Are you sure?
May I be excused?
Yes, you may. I'm sorry. Thank you. Sorry that you had to wait so long.
That's okay. I'll bring my computer.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Hernandez, thank you very much for your patience. Are you ready to begin?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Jose Carrasco, if you would please work your way into the courtroom behind this gray podium.
José Carrasco, pase a tomar lugar ahí detrás del podio.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for your patience. I know you're at the end of a long calendar.
Buenas tardes, señor. Muchas gracias por su paciencia. Sé que la lista de casos fue larga.
Can I have your...
Good afternoon.
Can I please have your full name and date of birth?
Diga, por favor, su nombre completo y su fecha de nacimiento.
José Agustín Carrasco Domínguez, 0928-75.
José Agustín Carrasco Domínguez. 9/28/1975.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carrasco. You are here on an allegation of a new charge.
Gracias, señor Carrasco. Usted comparece el día de hoy por una acusación reciente.
That allegation is one count of aggravated luring a minor for sexual exploitation. It is a Class 2 felony.
La acusación es atracción agravada de una menor con fines de explotación sexual. Es un delito de categoría 2.
You are entitled to the assistance of counsel in this criminal case, and I've appointed a lawyer to represent you.
Usted tiene derecho a la ayuda de un abogado durante este proceso penal y he asignado un abogado para que le represente.
Your next court hearings will be a status conference July 9th and then a preliminary hearing July 11th, and they will both be at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown.
Sus siguientes comparecencias son una consulta de actualización el día 9 de julio y una audiencia preliminar el día 11 de julio. Ambas comparecencias serán a las 8:30 de la mañana en el Tribunal Superior en el centro de la ciudad.
On this allegation, you have a $100,000 secured appearance bond.
Por esta acusación, usted tiene una fianza respaldada de $100,000.
If you post that bond, you would be eligible for release from custody, but Arizona law would require that you be affixed with an ankle monitor.
Si usted presta esa fianza, usted califica para la libertad bajo la supervisión de control de procesados, pero tendría que ser con un grillete de monitoreo electrónico.
If you post that bond and you are released on that ankle monitor, you cannot have contact with any minors.
Si usted presta esa fianza y es puesto en libertad vigilada con el grillete de monitoreo, tiene prohibido contacto con menores de edad.
You would also be prohibited from accessing the internet through any electronic means if released from custody.
Tendría prohibido tener acceso al internet por medios electrónicos si usted es puesto en libertad provisional.
And you could not possess any drugs without a valid prescription.
Tendría prohibido tener drogas sin una receta médica.
Do you understand those conditions?
¿Entiende estas condiciones?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Carrasco. All that information will be in your paperwork. You can step to your left and get that now.
Muchas gracias, señor Carrasco. Toda esa información vendrá escrita en la hoja que se le entregue ahí a su izquierda. Pase a recogerla.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Hernandez, he's the last one left in the gallery, so you are free to disconnect. Thank you for your flexibility and your patience.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Are you telling me that the juvenile is here, like could be brought into the courtroom?
I think I may will bring them in.
Okay.
I have to call,
Yeah, that's fine.
and then I'll get you.
I'll read the other house call on them while I wait for that.
South, correct.
The other house call is?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Number 22 on the calendar, Christopher Michael Esparza, date of birth 8/23/69, is not in the courtroom because he poses a danger to himself. He is here on allegations of new charges. Those allegations are one count of resisting arrest, a Class 6 felony, and one count of threatening and intimidating, a Class 1 misdemeanor. I did find probable cause to support those allegations and appointed a lawyer to represent him. His next court hearings will be a status conference July 9th and a preliminary hearing July 11th, both at 8:30 in the Superior Court downtown. On these allegations, he has a $1,500 secured appearance bond. If that is posted, he will be released to pretrial services for alcohol and drug testing on a monthly basis, no less than 4 times a month until a further order of this court. If anything changes after I visit him cell side, I will update his written release order, and his final release conditions will be reflected in that written release order. What the heck?
that housing thing on the recording, or did they just leave it in the release board? Fisher used to read it. Okay.
Good afternoon. If you'd stand right behind this gray podium, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Can I have your name and date of birth?
Ramon de Jesus Garcia Jr., 11909.
Thank you very much, Mr. Is your last name Jesus Garcia?
De Jesus Garcia.
De Jesus Garcia is all your last name?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. De Jesus Garcia. Before we get too far into this, I do need to let you know that you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you choose to say in this court proceeding could be used against you.
Mm-hmm.
You do have the right to the assistance of counsel, and I am going to appoint a lawyer to represent you on the matters I'm seeing you on, but as you can see, that lawyer's not here in the courtroom today. So because that lawyer's not here and because anything you say could be used against you, I will strongly caution you not to make any statements regarding the facts about why you're here. I am seeing you on 2 grand jury warrants. The first one alleges 3 counts of aggravated assault on correction employees, all class 5 felonies alleged to have been committed April 19th of 2025. The second grand jury warrant alleges 1 count of aggravated assault on a correction employee, a class 5 felony. That one alleged to have been committed March 18th of 2025. So in total on the 2 grand jury warrants, it's 4 counts of aggravated assault, all felony offenses. As I indicated, I did appoint a lawyer to represent you in both different cases. Your next court hearing in both of these cases will be an arraignment hearing, and it is scheduled for July 10th. It'll be at 8:30 in the morning in the Superior Court downtown. On each of the grand jury warrants, you have a $25,000 secured appearance bond. That means your total bond for these 2 warrants will be $50,000, all secured appearance. I have also reviewed and considered factors contained in the Federal Juvenile Justice Delinquency and Prevention Act. Based on those factors, I am ordering that you remain in the physical custody of MCSO in an adult facility until released. If you post that bond and you are released from custody, you cannot possess any weapons, any drugs without a valid prescription, any alcohol, and you cannot initiate contact with any of the alleged victims of any of the underlying offenses.
Yes,
Do you understand all of those conditions, Mr. De Jesus Garcia?
Yes, my honor.
Okay, thank you very much. You can go ahead and step back to your left. All that information will be in your paperwork. Okay, that concludes the 2 p.m. initial appearance calendar. This court will stand in recess until 5 p.m.
All right.
Please be seated. Do we still have the translator? Oh, good. Thank you for your patience. For the translator, could you please announce?
Ofelia Fernandez, court interpreter.
Thank you. We'll be calling in the individuals one at a time. I'll say the first person's name, and then I'll ask the second person to sit in the chair by the door.
Vamos a llamar una persona a la vez, daré el nombre de la primera persona que va a pasar, la segunda persona que nombre se sentará en la silla que está cerca de la puerta.
This is the 5 p.m. initial appearance calendar for July 3rd, 2025.
Este es el calendario de la comparecencia inicial de las 5 de la tarde del 3 de julio del 2025.
The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints.
La orden judicial que se dio para la toma de muestra de ADN y de huellas dactilares,
That were given on the first calendar of this month shall apply to all matters on this calendar.
esa orden que se dio en el primer calendario de este mes está vigente a todas las causas de esta tarde.
Rodrigo Alberto Estupinian Alfaro, please come to the podium.
Rodrigo Alberto Estupinian Alfaro, por favor, pase al atril.
Isidro Valenzuela, please have a seat by the door.
Y Casidro Valenzuela, pase a la puerta.
Please state your name and date of birth.
Por favor, diga su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento.
Rodrigo Alberto Estupinian Alfaro, 6 de junio de 2000.
May the interpreter clarify, Your Honor. ¿Dijo 6 de junio del 2000?
Sí.
Rodrigo Alberto Estupinian Alfaro, June 6, 2000.
Can you verify June 6th or June 30th?
June 30th.
¿Puede verificar junio 6 o junio 30?
June 30th.
30th.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case.
Usted está aquí el día de hoy por un caso nuevo en el Tribunal Superior.
Allegations have been made that you were trafficking in stolen property.
Se presentaron pretensiones de que usted estaba traficando artículos robados.
This is a Class 2 felony.
Es un delito de categoría 2.
Also, allegations of theft, which is a Class 3 felony.
Y también pretensiones de robo simple, lo cual es un delito de categoría 3.
An attorney has been appointed for you.
Se nombró un abogado para que lo represente.
Your next hearing is downtown on July 9th at 8:30 in the morning.
Su próxima audiencia será en el centro el 9 de julio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
A secured bond is set at $2,500.
Y se estableció una fianza con garantía de $2,500.
You are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime.
¿Usted no puede regresar al lugar del presunto ilícito?
Do not have contact with the alleged victims, witnesses, or complainants.
Tampoco puede tener contacto en lo absoluto con ninguna de las víctimas, testigos o persona que haya presentado la querella.
There are more conditions and restrictions of release. They will be printed on your paperwork.
Habrá más condiciones o restricciones a su libertad, se imprimirán con la documentación que se le entregue.
Please step over there and they'll give you your paperwork.
Por favor, pase a un lado y le entregarán su documentación.
And I believe that our only other translation matter will not be to the end of the calendar. So I thank you for your time here today. If you'd like to be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you. You as well. Isidro Valenzuela, please come to the podium. After that, Hector Sanchez, have a seat by the door. Sure. Please state your name and date of birth.
Isidro Valenzuela, 5/14/92.
You're here today on two separate matters. The first is a new Superior Court case where there were allegations of narcotic drug possession for sale, which is a Class 2 felony, and then narcotic drugs transportation, possibly for sale, also a Class 2 felony. An attorney has been appointed for you. There is probable cause for these allegations, so your next hearing will be on July 9th at 8:30 downtown. You are bailable as a matter of right. A cash-only appearance bond is set at $25,000. The second matter before this court for you is a Superior Court probation violation warrant. Because you were already on probation, under Arizona Criminal Rules of Procedure 7.2C, you are not eligible for bond. Your hearing here will be on July 10th at 8:30 in the morning, and an attorney has been assigned for you. All of this is on your paperwork. Please step to the side. Hector Sanchez, please come to the podium. Justin Shirk, Justin Shirk, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Hector Sanchez, February 14, 1987.
You're here today on four separate matters. The new Superior Court case that you're here for today alleges that you had both narcotic and dangerous drugs in your possession and for sale. Those are all Class 2 felonies. Also, that you were possessing a weapon and you are prohibited from doing so, which is a Class 4 felony. You also were possessing that weapon in the course of a drug offense, which is a Class 4 felony, and you were carrying a deadly weapon that you failed to admit to, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. This court has found probable cause, and so an attorney has been appointed to represent you at your next hearing downtown, July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. In this new matter, bond is set at a cash-only appearance bond of $50,000. However, you do have these three other matters. Looks like they are all Superior Court probation violation warrants. On 2 of them, based on the nature of the charges while you are on probation, you are bailable as a matter of right. And so $100 and a $150 bond has been set in 2 of those matters, so that's $250. That's cash only. Those are, we're affirming the probation violation bond warrant. But on your last one, that is not bailable as a matter of right. And so because you had violations of probation, and this one was alleging violating terms 3, 4, 5, and 15, but now also term 1, because there are new allegations of criminal activity, you are not eligible for bond in your 4th matter. So don't pay your other bonds because you won't be released. All of this will be on your paperwork, including the dates and times for your hearing, and you have been appointed attorneys to represent you at those hearings. Please step to your left. Justin Shirk, please come to the podium. Sheldon James, have a seat by the door. Do you need to print any others? Okay. Yep. Maybe I'll refresh it. Thank you. Thanks for your patience. Our technology is very slow today. Please state your name and date of birth.
Justin Shirk, 4477.
You're here today on 4 separate matters. It appears they are all probation violation warrants. So we'll just go through them one at a time. The first one is for probation that you were on for narcotic drug possession or use, a class 4 felony, and then drug paraphernalia, class 6 felony. This one you failed to appear at the hearing, and so a $500 bond is set. The next one, this was a probation violation. It was a secured bond for $250. The third one, also $250, and then the last one is also $250. So your failure to appear at that first hearing, the $500 bond one, triggered these other ones because then you violated the term 1 of your probation in these other cases. So there is a hearing set for you. It's on July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. An attorney will be assigned to you there. If you do make bond, make sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release so that you are there at the hearing and you get this taken care of. All of the information will be on your paperwork. Please keep track of it. It's 4 separate cases. Okay? Please step to your left.
Sure.
Nicholas Hawkins, please come to the podium. Michael Rudolph, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Nicholas Hawkins, October 3rd, 1996.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. There's allegations of aggravated domestic violence, which is a Class 5 felony, threat and intimidation, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor, and disorderly conduct, Class 1 misdemeanor. An attorney has been assigned for you, and your next hearing is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. A secured appearance bond, so that means you can use a bail bondsman, has been set at $10,000. If you make this bond, it's very important for you not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have any contact with the alleged victims, witnesses, complainants. I understand this may be your residence. And so included in this order, there is a no contact provision that allows you to return one time with law enforcement officers to retrieve any necessary belongings. You'll have to arrange that in advance. But also included in this order is the admonition that no contact between you and the alleged victims includes if they reach out to you, don't take their call.
Okay.
It can't go either direction.
Okay.
If any orders of harassment or orders of protection are issued against you, you need to comply with those court orders. Okay, all of this will be on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Michael Rudolph, please come to the podium. Donald Maribel, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Michael Anthony Rudolph, January 30th, 1976.
You're here today on two separate matters. One of them is a Superior Court arrest warrant. So this was a direct complaint from an old allegation back in 2022. They were trying to find you and send you out the warrant, or excuse me, before they sent a warrant, they sent out a summons for the direct complaint. However, they were not able to reach you, so they issued a warrant, and it's a $5,000 secured appearance bond on that one. So you could use a bail bondsman. So hang on just a minute, and I'll tell you about both cases, and then I'll be happy to hear from you. An attorney is appointed for you on this case. The charges are, because you haven't been yet to this one, taking contraband into a correctional facility, Class 2 felony, narcotic drug possession for use, Class 4 felony, paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and then resisting arrest, Class 1 misdemeanor. An attorney is appointed for you. The hearing date for this is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. And it looks like you are on probation. So the second one is the probation violation warrant. And on that one, the bond is just set at $50. So this is it's a secured bond of $50. It's like a placeholder in case you are still in custody. They will transport you to your hearing on July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. And an attorney would represent you then at that probation arraignment. Okay, sir, please go ahead.
I'll jump in. So after that incident happened in 2022, I went to Sholo to go to Waypoint Recovery. I was there for 6 months. That's why I didn't get the summons. As soon as I came back down and I found out about it, I contacted the clerk of the court. And even though she told me she can't give me legal advice, I asked her, what should I do? She said the summons came back to them and they weren't sending another one out. And she said there was nothing that I could do. And then on my last probation violation that I just went to last month, I asked my attorney to ask the judge about it. That's why these charges came down right now. I wanted to be in front of a judge about this stuff, and I had no recourse.
Okay.
It's like they're treating me like I missed a court date, and I didn't. I did not know about it.
I see that the summons was returned in 2023,
Yes.
and then they issued the warrant this year in 2025. Okay.
I tried in between then to try to get a hold of these people, and I had no recourse. Like, there was nothing I could do. Like, I tried a lot.
Let me just double check the bond, how they've got that issued. So normally the reason why these bonds are so high is because it looks like you've been evading it, but I understand that you have not. And so let me just double check, because I do have a chance to look into your probation terms.
Okay. I've even talked to my probation officer about it, as a matter of fact. That's why I can't believe he violated me.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and reduce your bond amount from the $5,000 secured. I'm going to knock a zero off to $500 secured.
Thank you.
Okay? So what that means is, if you post that bond, you need to be sure to appear at that hearing, and also contact your probation officer right away.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you'll have to wait a moment because they're going to have to reprint.
Okay.
That's number one that needs to be reprinted. Number 3 is still, or 33, excuse me, is staying the same, so that's still $50 bond. They're both secured.
Okay.
Yeah, make sure you talk with your probation officer.
What does secured mean? Cash only, or what does that mean?
You can use a bail bondsman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Is it okay if he has a seat in the waiting room?
All right. Thank you.
Donald Maribel, please come to the podium. Eric Johnson, please come to the chair by the door. State your name and date of birth.
My name is Donald Marable. I was born 7/25/1971.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. There are allegations that you tampered with or destroyed evidence, which is a Class 6 felony, drug paraphernalia possession, Class 1 misdemeanor, disorderly conduct, Class 1 misdemeanor. I did read the Form 4 written statement by the officers and found probable cause, so I've assigned an attorney for you. Your next hearing is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. There is a criminal history as well as domestic violence allegations in your criminal history, and so your bond is set at $50,000. It's a secured appearance bond, so you may use a bail bondsman. If you post this bond, do not return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with the alleged victims, complainants, witnesses. If you live at the same place that this took place, I have included in the order one time that you can go with law enforcement. It's called a civil standby to retrieve necessary items. You will need to let the court know your new address because you cannot live at the place where this was alleged to have taken place. All of this will be on your paperwork, and yeah, you've got an attorney appointed, and your next court date is July 9th.
I have a question.
You may ask.
The disorderly conduct and the paraphernalia are misdemeanors, am I correct?
That is correct, but the evidence and tampering and destroying evidence is a Class 6 felony, which is why you're getting an attorney and your hearing is set.
And my bail is $50,000?
That's mostly based on your criminal history, yes, sir. So it's really important for you to attend your next hearing and get this sorted out. Please step to your left. Eric Johnson, please come to the podium. Emmanuel Herrera Galindo, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Eric Johnson, date of birth 4/16/96.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. There is allegations of aggravated assault, which is a Class 3 felony, and disorderly conduct with a weapon, which is a Class 6 felony. There was probable cause, and so an attorney has been appointed for you at your next hearing, which is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning downtown. A secured appearance bond has been set based on the allegations of $50,000, so that's secured. You can use a bail bondsman. If you do make that bond, you will be asked to have electronic monitoring, and pretrial services will set the curfews and the geographic boundaries for you before you're released. If you are released, you must follow the conditions of release, which include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having any contact with the alleged witnesses, victims, or arresting officers. You may not reside at the same location as any of the alleged victims. So if that happens to be your residence, I've included an order at the bottom of this paperwork that will allow you to call law enforcement to go with you one time and retrieve necessary belongings.
Okay.
So that's all included. All of this is written on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Emmanuel Herrera Galindo, please come to the podium. Antonio Zaratia, please have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
My name is Manuel Herrera Galindo. My date of birth is September 3rd, 2004.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. There were allegations of aggravated assault, which is a Class 4 felony. This court did find probable cause and so has appointed you an attorney for your next hearing, which is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning downtown. There is a secured appearance bond set at $15,000. That means you can use a bail bondsman. There will be PSA supervision, so an electronic monitor, if you're able to make that bond. They'll have you put it on before you're released, and they'll set curfew times and locations for you, and they'll explain it to you. If you are released, you are not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with the alleged victims, witnesses, or complainants. There are more release conditions. They're all printed on your paperwork. If you lived at that same place, is that correct? It looks like you have a child in common, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So because you have a child in common with the alleged victim, and this order says you're not to have any contact with the victim, you'll need to continue to make arrangements through the third party, which I believe was the grandmother, is that right?
My mom or her mom?
Well, you can't go back to the scene of the alleged crime, so I'm hoping you have another third party that you can use.
I mean, the crime happened at my place.
Oh, it happened at your place?
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure if you want to see your child, you go through a third party. No direct contact with the alleged victim.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
And then, okay.
Okay, all of this is on your paperwork, all the dates and times and your bail set, it's all on your paperwork, okay? Please step to your left. Antonio Serrata, please come to the podium. After that, Christopher Larson, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Antonio Serrata Jr., 7/19 of 1990.
You're here today on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. It appears that you did violate terms 1, 3, and 5, and a bond has been requested at $1,000 from your probation, and this court's going to affirm that. An attorney has been assigned for you, and your next hearing is July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. If you do make that bond, there are release conditions. The most important one for you is to contact your probation officer within 72 hours.
Okay.
All of this is on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Christopher Larson, please come to the podium. Anthony Cias, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Christopher Larson, May 12th, 82. I got it.
You're here today on 3 separate issues. You have one Superior Court new case with allegations of drug paraphernalia, possession, and use. And in this one, a secured appearance bond is set at $250. Your other 2 matters are what they call bench warrants for failure to appear. So you had hearings set, and you didn't show up to take care of it. One of them is for drug paraphernalia, possession, use, Class 6 felony, as well as a DUI, Class 1 misdemeanor. And then the other one is, again, the paraphernalia, possession, use, Class 6 felony. So on each of these 3 matters, it's a $250 bond, so it's $750 total. So it's really important that if you do pay this bond, it's a secured bond, and get out, that you go to your next hearing, okay? The hearings are downtown, July 9th, 8:30 in the morning. There'll be an attorney there to represent you and answer your questions. Another hearing is July 10th, also at 8:30. And then the other hearing is also July 10th at 8:30. So all the paperwork has the information for you. Please contact your probation officer if you are released. Otherwise, when you go to court, get this taken care of. Please step to your left. Anthony Cias, please come to the podium. Douglas Varga, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Anthony Robert C.S., 6/16/85.
You're here today on 2 separate issues. One is a new Superior Court case, which is narcotic drug possession and use, which is a Class 4 felony. This court did find probable cause, appointed an attorney for you, and your next hearing on this is set July 9th at 8:30 downtown. A secured bond has been set at $50, and this is a placeholder bond because of your second issue. And the second issue here is you had a Superior Court probation violation warrant, and there they asked for $250 secure bond. So that's a total of $300 secure bond. If you are able to make bond and are released, make sure to contact your probation officer right away. It says 72 hours, but don't wait. Contact them right away. Don't be out of compliance, right?
Okay.
Or they're just going to keep issuing more warrants.
Okay.
And then make sure you go to your hearing and get this sorted out. All of this is on your paperwork. Please step to your left.
So basically, $300 I get bond out.
Secured. Douglas Vargas, please come to the podium. Walter Reese, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Douglas Moses Vargas, 02/23/1978.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. It's been alleged that you had a weapon and you're not allowed. You're a prohibited possessor, which is a Class 4 felony. Also, disorderly conduct, a Class 6 felony, and discharging a firearm within city limits, a Class 6 felony.
I never had a firearm.
This court found that there was probable cause, and so an attorney, well, let's see. Also that you are not indigent. Let me double check. Yeah, you have a good job. So you can afford an attorney. So if you want to hire one, you can, or you can represent yourself. Your next hearing is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. A secured appearance bond is set based on the nature of the allegations at $50,000. If you make that secured appearance bond, that means you can use a bail bondsman. You'll have PSA supervision, which is an ankle monitor, and they'll set the time and location that is restricted. If you do make bond, do not return to the scene of the alleged crime. And I do understand that may be your residence.
Yeah.
And so included in your order, there is language there that you may contact law enforcement and ask them to escort you there to retrieve necessary belongings. But you will need to update the court with your new address where you're living if you make bond. Also, you may not have contact with the alleged victim, complainant, or witnesses. And that includes even if they reach out to you to try to contact you first. Just ignore that call. Don't take it because you're not to have contact, and that includes receiving it.
Okay.
Right? So it's important that you don't get crosswise with these court orders. Your next hearing date is July 9th, so it's not that far away.
Right.
And hopefully after that you can get different orders and get this sorted out.
Thank you.
All right, please step to your left. Walter Reese, please come to the podium.
Wait, come up there.
And Ezekiel Olaguez, have a seat by the door. This is the podium right here. State your name and date of birth.
Walter Reese, 12/9/85.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. It's been alleged that you stole a car, which is a Class 3 felony, that you had dangerous drugs, which is a Class 4 felony, and you had drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. This court did find probable cause and appointed an attorney for you for your next hearing, which will be July 17th at 8:30 in the morning. This court is inclined to release you on what's called supervised release. So that means that you need to promise that you'll go in for drug testing and monitoring between now and your court date.
Yeah.
Okay. You are prohibited from contact with the arresting officers, having drugs without a valid prescription. There are a few other things listed on your release conditions. Be sure to follow those and don't lose your pretrial services paperwork because they'll assist you in getting to that hearing.
Okay.
Okay. Please step to your left. Ezekiel Olaguez, please come to the podium. Stephen Reynolds, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
I'm Ezekiel Olaguez, 8/28/94.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case alleging drug paraphernalia possession, a Class 6 felony. So I have appointed an attorney for you at your next hearing, and that is going to be July 17th at 8:30 in the morning. This court is inclined to release you today under what's called supervised release if you promise to go in for drug testing. Okay, you will get a paperwork that also includes like an envelope, and it's really important you contact them. They'll get you a bus pass. They'll tell you where to go for drug testing. You need to do that before your next hearing.
All right.
All right, please step to your left.
So then I'll be released or not?
It will take a few hours, and now that we're already at 5:30, it might take a little while.
All right.
Stephen Reynolds, please come to the podium. After that, Diego Bencomo, please have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Stephen Michael Reynolds, March 31st, 1987.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case with allegations of dangerous drug possession, which is a Class 4 felony. There is probable cause, so an attorney is appointed for you for your next hearing, which is July 17th at 8:30 in the morning. This court is inclined to release you on supervised release with drug testing if you promise to appear at your next hearing. So that means they're going to give you some paperwork, including an envelope. You need to contact them, go in for your drug testing, show patterns of improvement before your next hearing. Okay, please step to your left.
Thank you, ma'am.
Diego Bencomo, please come to the podium. After that, Jackie Ruffin, have a seat by the door. State
Hello.
your name and date of birth.
Diego Bencomo, and 9/12/89.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. It's aggravated DUI with wrong way driving, which is a Class 4 felony. There was probable cause, and so an attorney has been appointed for you. Your next hearing will be July 17th at 8:30 in the morning. This court is inclined to release you on what's called supervised release with alcohol testing. That means you need to promise to go to the testing and establish a record of not having alcohol in your system before your next hearing.
I promise.
Okay, all of that will be on your paperwork. Please step to your left.
Thank you.
And you may need to wait for a moment. Looks like this. Okay. Jackie Ruffin, please come to the podium. Octavio Pena, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Jackie Renee Ruffin, October 17, 1987.
You're here today on two separate warrants. Both of them are from municipal court.
Okay.
Okay. So the first one was a failure to appear, and it's a misdemeanor. And this court doesn't have authority to appoint an attorney for you because it's misdemeanor. But I can tell you your next hearing is in Peoria Municipal Court on July 22nd at 9 a.m. I've included the phone number for you for Peoria on your paperwork. So if you can call them and get it sorted out ahead of time, you may not even have to go to that hearing, but you need to contact them. The second one is it's also out of Peoria Municipal Court, July 22nd, 9 a.m. Again, so you have two separate warrants from Peoria. I understand you may also be on probation. If that's true, make sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. So you're being released today on your promise that you will go to Peoria City Court and get this taken care of.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
It'll be on your paperwork. Octavio Pena?
Yes, ma'am.
And then LaChaven Duncan, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Octavio Peña, November the 5th, 1973.
You're here today on a new municipal court case. There are allegations of disorderly conduct and fighting, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor, and then a false report to law enforcement, also a Class 1 misdemeanor. Because these are misdemeanors, this court is not authorized to appoint an attorney for you, so you can represent yourself or you can hire one. Your next hearing is in Surprise at the Surprise Municipal Court on July 29th at 1:30 in the afternoon. This court would like to release you on your own recognizance. However, there are conditions to your release.
Okay.
Those include not returning to the scene of the alleged crime or having any contact with the alleged victims, witnesses, complainants. Also, no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription. Until your next court hearing, which is July 29th, do not consume any alcohol. That's the orders of this court.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I understand this might be your residence.
Yes.
Okay. So I have included in your order where you can go to law enforcement there in Surprise and ask them if they will escort you to retrieve your belongings that you need one time, because you're not to return there without an escort. So you'll have to find somewhere else to stay until that hearing date. If you want, one thing I can do is I could set bond and then your hearing date would get moved up to July 8th.
No, I need to go home today.
Okay. All right. So I just wanted to let you know if you were in custody, we could move your hearing to July 8th.
No, I need to
Okay.
get out
All right,
today.
so all of this is on your paperwork. Please step to your left.
Also, I'm gonna get OR today?
But do not return to the alleged scene of the incident.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mhm. All right, LaChaven Duncan, please come to the podium. After that, David Ortiz, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
LaChaven Duncan, May 25th, 1990.
You're here today on a new municipal court case. There were allegations of criminal damage, Class 1 misdemeanor, disorderly conduct, theft, consuming liquor in a vehicle, and driving on a suspended license. These are all Class 1 misdemeanors, and so an attorney is not going to be appointed for you because they're all Class 1 misdemeanors that will be handled out in Buckeye Municipal Court.
Okay.
So your hearing will be on July 22nd at 2 p.m.
Okay.
I've included the phone number for Buckeye just in case you need it, but make sure you don't return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contacts with the alleged victims, witnesses, or arresting officers. Do not consume any alcohol until July 22nd at 2 p.m., right? I mean, also don't drink in court, but this is the order that stands until you get there and they give you any new orders.
Okay.
Okay? You also may not have any contact with any of the alleged victims, okay? If they call you, don't pick up, right? Because that would be contact. All of this will be on your paperwork. Please step to your left. David Ortiz, please come to the podium. After that, Hugo Tolentino Guerrero. Have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
David Ortiz, 3/17/1990.
You're here today on two separate matters. One of them is a new Superior Court case where there were allegations of narcotic drug possession, which is a Class 4 felony, and then drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. There is probable cause for these charges, so an attorney has been appointed for you for your next hearing, which is July 17th at 8:30 downtown.
Okay.
On this first, on both of them. Okay, the next one you have is a Superior Court probation violation warrant. And on that one, it looks like it's just a Term 1 violation. So you had new criminal activity. So that's what's called a Term 1. You're not supposed to have any new criminal activity. I've appointed an attorney for you in your second matter as well. There is a probation hearing set for you on July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. This court is inclined to release you on your own recognizance, but that means that you need to contact your probation officer right away.
I will.
You have 72 hours, but don't wait.
Okay.
Okay? There are other conditions of your release. Make sure to read through them and follow them.
Okay.
Okay, please step to the left. I'm going to go ahead and read in the in custody, and then we'll bring him in. That way you have, exactly. The following people will be visited in the back of the house by themselves because they pose a danger either to themselves or court staff. Beginning with James Sheldon, item number 7 and 34 on the calendar. Number 7, Sheldon Corey James, date of birth 4/22/1993. It's a new Superior Court case with allegations of aggravated assault, Class 5 felony, threatening and intimidation, Class 1 misdemeanor. He's been appointed an attorney. His next hearing is July 9th, 8:30 downtown. He is bailable as a matter of right. His bond is set at $5,000 secured appearance due to multiple failures to appear in his criminal history. He does have conditions and restrictions of release, including contacting his probation officer within 72 hours. His second matter, which was item number 34 on the calendar, is a probation violation warrant. That will also have an attorney appointed for his July 10th, 8:30 a.m. hearing. And on this one, because he did violate his terms of probation, he is not eligible for release per ACRP 7.2C. So Mr. Sheldon is not eligible for release. The next person that's going to be visited back of house in their cell is Clemencia Juan Rosendo, date of birth 6/29/1991. It's item number 2 on the calendar. This is a new municipal court case for disorderly conduct, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. No attorney is appointed due to the nature of the charges. A hearing is set July 29th at 1:30, and if possible, she'll be released on her own recognizance. She has been issued other conditions and restrictions, including not to return to the scene of the crime and obeying any orders of protection or harassment that might be issued. The last person visited in-house will be Lisa Joy Diaz Royster. She has 2 calendar, 11 and 12. Her date of birth is 9/23/1973. She is here for a Superior Court probation violation warrant, and that warrant is $250 secured, and that was for violating terms 3 and 5 of her probation. And then on calendar item number 12, it's a $50 bond, still secured, and that is from a direct complaint warrant that came out in October 2023 that she has just not been served or responded to. She is admonished to contact her probation officer within 72 hours if she is released, as her bond is set at a total of $300 secured. If there are no changes to these orders, or if there are changes to the orders, it is not my intention to return to this recording. They will be reflected in any written order that is issued. And now we have the last matter on the calendar, which is Hugo Tolentino Viero. We have an interpreter on the line. Go ahead and announce, please.
Hello, my name is Jose. I'll be your Lionbridge Spanish interpreter, ID number 6442, and I'm ready for instructions.
Thank you. Have you interpreted for a court before?
Yes, a couple of times.
Okay, great. So as long as you can affirm that you will directly interpret what I say and what the defendant says, we can proceed. Do you affirm that?
Yes, I affirm that.
Thank you. So I'll just say my part, and if you can translate back and forth, that would be great. Please state your name and date of birth.
Okay, por favor, mencione su nombre y su fecha de nacimiento.
Hugo Alberto Tolentino Guerrero, 03/16/1990.
Hugo Alberto Torrentino Guerrero, 03/16/1990.
You are here on a new Superior Court case.
Usted está aquí en un caso de la Corte Superior.
It has been alleged that you had sexual contact with an animal, which is a Class 6 felony.
Está siendo acusado de que usted tuvo contacto sexual con un animal, lo cual lo cual significa que es un crimen de clase 6.
This court did not find. So if you could tell him, he will have a chance to ask questions at the end.
Usted va a tener su chance de hacer preguntas al final.
Okay.
This court did not find you indigent, so there is no attorney appointed.
So, interpreter speaking, can you repeat for me the first sentence?
Sure. This court did not find you indigent.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, entonces este tribunal no determinó que usted sea una persona indigente, por lo tanto no le asignó un abogado.
Your next hearing is July 9th at 8:30 a.m.
Su siguiente audiencia es en la fecha de julio 9 a las 8:30 de la mañana.
A bond is set at $5,000 secured.
Ok. Valor de $5,000 con garantía.
Secured means that you can use a bail bondsman.
Oh, sorry, interpreter speaking. Can you repeat that sentence for me?
Sure. Secured means you may use a bail bondsman.
Thank you. Sí, entonces mire, la garantía significa que usted puede usar una agencia de fianzas.
Okay.
You have release conditions printed on your paperwork.
Usted tiene lo que son las condiciones de liberación impresas en el papeleo.
Including, you may not have contact with any animals.
Also, interpreter speaking, it cut up a little bit. Can you repeat the sentence for me?
Yes. You may not have contact with any animals.
Usted no tiene permitido tener contacto con ningún animal.
Owned by yourself or the alleged victim.
Ya sea que usted sea el dueño del animal o de la víctima en cuestión.
Okay. Please ask your question.
Ok, por favor, haga sus preguntas.
Oh, sí, yo lo único que quería decir era de que como mi expareja y yo estábamos peleados y como yo me salí de la casa, ella dijo que iba a decir que yo abusé de la perra cuando yo solo estaba jugando con ella. Porque yo me salí de la casa, por eso ella mandó ese video.
Okay. So I just want to say that my ex-partner and myself were arguing at the time, and she told me that she was going to accuse me of this felony, and I was just playing with the dog, and that's why, and because of the argument, that's why she sent the video. Because I left the home.
Okay. Anything you say today may be used against you at your next hearing, so be careful.
Sí, solo le quiero mencionar que cualquier cosa que usted mencione el día de hoy puede ser usado en su contra en la siguiente audiencia, así que tenga cuidado.
This hearing today is only to establish probable cause and to inform you of the next hearings and release conditions.
El propósito de esta para establecer causa probable, mencionar la fecha de la próxima audiencia y las condiciones de liberación.
So at the next hearing, the judge will listen to both sides of what happened.
Así que es en la siguiente audiencia que el juez va a escuchar ambas partes para averiguar qué fue lo que pasó.
Okay. This will all be on your paperwork.
Y esta información va a estar en el papeleo también.
Okay. Go ahead. And thank you to the translator. That is our last person here today. We appreciate you being available.
I'll come right back out.
Oh, my pleasure. Is there anything else that I can assist you with?
No, you may be excused.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for calling Ion Bridge for Language Needs. Have a nice day.
Thank you. The calendar, as all the house calls have been read into the record.
The interpreter has...
The IA court now stands in recess until 8 p.m. Please be seated. I think I messed up the translator line when I was reading the order, so if you just want to show them all at the bottom. Okay, no worries. Thanks. I guess I'll do this one. Yeah. And then we are all set. Do we have an attorney in here? Okay. Okay. Good evening. This is the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar for July 3rd, 2025. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar of the month shall apply to all matters on this calendar. As you just heard in the recording, this initial appearance hearing is for a specific purpose. I'll tell you the allegations against you, why are you here, whether or not an attorney will be appointed, when your next hearing date is, and your conditions of release if applicable. Remember, this hearing is being recorded as well as live streamed. You do have the right to remain silent and you have the right to an attorney. I'll call people in one at a time. The first person I call will come to the podium, and then the second person will have a seat by the door so that we can move through this efficiently. Would Ezeal Solea please come to the podium, and Francisco Romero have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Uciel Celaya, 102586.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. There are allegations of aggravated DUI, which is a Class 4 felony, aggravated assault against a first responder, which is a Class 4 felony, unlawful flight from law enforcement, which is a Class 5 felony, and criminal damage, a Class 5 felony. This court did find probable cause and appointed an attorney to represent you. Your next hearing is a status conference, which is July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. Because you were already on felony release in a different case, criminal matter 2025-100851, you are not eligible for bond. There is an evidentiary hearing set for that specific topic, also July 10th at 1:30 in the afternoon, so you will be able to argue to get released then, and there is an attorney appointed for you. All of this is on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Francisco Romero, please come to the podium. Damian Subia, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth, please.
Francisco Romero, 12/17/87.
You're here today on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. There is a hearing set for you on July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. A county defender, a public defender has been appointed for you. There is a secured appearance bond of $250, and there's also a note that you were picked up from Red Rock in custody.
Yeah, DOC.
Okay. So if you were to pay that $250, you would just get bounced back to the DOC. So sit tight, go to your hearings. MCSO will transport you there so you don't continue to miss hearings for your violation. Okay, all of that is on your release paperwork. Please step to your left. Damian Subia, please come to the podium. Devian Gardner Jones, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth, please.
Damian Isaiah Subia, 9/12/03.
You're here today on a Superior Court grand jury warrant. There are allegations of shoplifting, which is a Class 4 felony, as well as removal of goods, which are misdemeanors. And there is a hearing set for you on July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. An attorney has been appointed to assist you. This is a cash-only appearance bond from the grand jury, and it's set at $250,000. So because I don't have all the facts of what went into that grand jury decision, this court is not able to make a change to that. We just affirm the grand jury bond. If you are able to make that bond cash only at $250,000, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with those witnesses, complainants, and make sure to keep the court updated with your address. All of this will be written on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Devian Gardner-Jones, please come to the podium. Tanner Huffman, please seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Devion Gardner-Jones, November 6, 2000.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. There are allegations that you possessed a weapon and that you are a prohibited possessor, and that's a Class 4 felony, that you discharged a firearm within the city limits, which is a Class 6 felony, and there was disorderly conduct, also a Class 6 felony. This court has found probable cause, and so a hearing has been set for you for July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. The Maricopa County Public Defender has been assigned to represent you, and a secured bond is set at $50,000, and that's based on your past criminal history and conviction. If you make that bond, do not return to the scene of the alleged crime or have contact with those witnesses, complainants, or victims. Especially do not return to Hungry Howie's store on Lemon Street in Tempe. All of this information will be provided to you on the paperwork. Please step to your left. Tanner Huffman, please come to the podium. Guillermo Cortez, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth, please.
Tanner Huffman, 10/21/2006.
Did you say 10/21/2006?
Yes, Your Honor. Mesa got a lot of my information wrong.
Okay, I see that. It will just take me one moment to correct it. So I'm correcting it in my system. It will be wrong on your paperwork, but hopefully it carries over going forward so you don't keep having this issue. But I don't have a lot of faith in technology. You are here today on 3 separate matters. One of them is a new Superior Court case. In the new case, there are allegations of unlawful flight from law enforcement, which is a Class 5 felony, driving on a suspended or revoked license, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor, reckless driving, a Class 2 misdemeanor, and exceeding the posted speed limit by over 20 miles per hour, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor. Because you have that felony charge, and this court did find probable cause, an attorney was appointed for you, and that would be the Maricopa County Public Defender. Your next hearing date will be July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. This is one of 3 cases, so on this case alone, the bond is set at $20,000 secured because of your past criminal history. However, you do have 2 other cases. The next one is a probation violation warrant, and on this warrant, it is a secured appearance bond only of $50, so that means if you're not able to get out of custody, this $50 will make sure that MCSO transports you to your hearing, so you don't miss that. And then on your third case, it's also a probation violation warrant. This one, though, the bond from the probation violation court is affirmed at $2,500. It's also a secured appearance bond. This one, there is a hearing set for you July 10th, 8:30, and there will be an attorney there to assist you. I've appointed one to help you. If you are able to make the bond, which in this case will be $22,550, if you do that, make sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. and go to those hearings so they don't keep issuing more warrants. Okay, it's all on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Please state your name and date of birth.
Guillermo Cortez, May 2nd, 1990.
You're here today on a new Superior Court case. There were allegations that you had a weapon and you're not allowed, which is a Class 4 felony. Dangerous drugs and narcotic drug possession, Class 4 felony. Drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. Carrying a weapon in the commission of a felony, which is a Class 6 felony, and then failing to admit that you had a deadly weapon, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor. This court did find probable cause and appointed an attorney to represent you at your next hearing, which is downtown on July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. Based on the criminal history and past convictions, a secured appearance bond of $10,000 has been set. If you do make this bond, be sure to contact your probation officer if you have one you don't have one right now. Okay, disregard that portion of the order. It appeared that you may have one, so if you're not on probation right now, just disregard that note. But do keep the court updated with your address, and please do attend your hearing. Everything is on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Mr. Anthony Emilio, please come to the podium. And Morgan Louisi, please have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Anthony Lee Emilio, 10875.
You're here today on a Superior Court failure to appear bench warrant, and it looks like it's from theft offense, which is a Class 6 felony back in 2005. An attorney has been appointed for you for your probation revocation hearing, which is going to be July 10th at 8:30 downtown. This court did affirm the bond that the probation revocation asked for, which is $1,800. That's a cash-only bond. If you are able to make that bond, be sure to follow the release conditions, including no driving without a valid license, consuming alcohol, no weapons, and contacting your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
You may.
Is there any way I can get you to go from a cash bond to a secured bond?
Let me look at the warrant. One moment, please.
It's yeah.
So this bond was issued in 2019 as cash only, and usually when they're that old, we go with what they said because it means you haven't been back to take care of it.
Okay. I haven't been in. I just moved back to the state. I have a daughter that just had a baby, and came out here to help her out specifically. Only reason I ask is because she needs me home to help her with my grandbaby. And a secured bond would give her the ability to get me out now. The cash bond, she doesn't have the collateral to make up the rest of out of the 10% she needs to put down. I'm just asking the question.
Mm-hmm. So where did you come from if you just came back?
I was living in California.
In California?
Yeah, with my children out there.
Okay.
My daughter decided she was 18 years old and had a baby, and she needs help. So.
Okay. I understand that.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
It looks like, so I'm just looking through your probation notes, and you left and you didn't tell them where you went. So the last time they heard from you, I think, was in 2020. And then they don't have any more. They keep saying they can't find you.
Yeah, because I was out of state, ma'am, and the last time this state of Arizona heard from me was when I got OR'd on this because it was so old, and it was just, I actually sat like 6 months in jail because I was out of parole out of California. It was just a mess. so.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set it at $2,000 secured bond.
Okay,
So it's really important that you appear and get this taken care of so that this doesn't keep happening.
oh,
to
yes,
you.
ma'am, I definitely want to do the right thing, and that's what I'm trying to do, and I appreciate you, and thank you.
Can you please reprint number 19? Thank you. All right, so I have changed that release condition to a $2,000 secured bond. That is also on your promise to appear at that hearing. It is still set for July 10th at 8:30 a.m., and there will be an attorney there to assist you. I think you can take a seat out there and they'll bring you the paperwork.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Morgan Loisi, please come to the podium. After that, Telford Dixon. Please state your name and date of birth.
Morgan Loisy, 02-1897.
You're here today on 3 separate matters. The first is a new Superior Court case. It has been alleged that you had narcotic drugs in your possession, which is a Class 4 felony. There was probable cause, so an attorney has been appointed for you, and your next hearing date will be July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. On this new charge, I've put a placeholder bond of $50 in case you're still in custody, that they would transport you to this hearing. Your other 2 matters are failure to appear bench warrants for the Superior Court for other charges. On the first one, it is from a failure to appear hearing, and the bond is set as cash only for $500. And on the second one, again, it was a failure to appear, but this one was for the sentencing in this case, and it was for $1,000. So total cash is $1,550. If you can make this bond, then be sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Make sure to go to your hearings. If you do not make the bond, MCSO will transport you to these hearings. Okay, everything's on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Telford Dixon, please come to the podium, and then Jada Al-Jada, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Telford Edward Dixon,
And your date of birth.
10/3/87.
Thank you. You're here today on 2 separate matters. One is a new Superior Court case where it's alleged that you had dangerous drugs in your possession, Class 4 felony. You had drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and you were trespassing, which is a Class 3 misdemeanor. This court did find probable cause and appointed an attorney to represent you in this new case at your hearing on July 9th at 8:30 downtown. You will have a secured appearance bond available to you of $500. And if you do make that bond, make sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. So the other matter here is the fact that you do have a Superior Court bench warrant, a failure to appear for your probation revocation arraignment. They requested, and this court is affirming, a $1,000 bond, and that is secured as well. An attorney has been appointed for you, and your revocation hearing is July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. So if you make those 2 bonds, make sure not to go back to any of the scene of alleged crimes or contact witnesses or victims, and contact your probation officer within 72 hours. All of this information will be on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Jada Al-Jada, please come to the podium. After that, Fahim Wilson, please have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Jada Al-Jada, 7/19/2000.
You're here today on 6 different matters. It appears that they are all probation violation. and there are varying bond amounts. However, the terms that you violated for your probation are all the same. They're terms 3, 5, and 15, so you did not stay in contact. And let me tell you what else, just so that you're aware. Number 3 was that you didn't contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release on 5/27. Number 5 is you didn't provide your current address. And number 15 was that you didn't abide by the special conditions of the mental health court. So those are the same violations for all of these. On the first one, there is a warrant of $1,000. On the second one, it is also $1,000. On the third, it is $1,000. On the fourth, it is $1,000. On the fifth, it is $500, and on the last one, it is $250. So I added this up earlier to make sure you would have it. $4,750. It is a secured appearance bond, so you could have a bail bondsman assist you with that. If you do make bond, make sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Comply with those conditions of release that are printed on your paperwork and attend your hearing on July 10th at 8:30 a.m. All of this is on your paperwork.
Can I speak? So the reason why I didn't contact my PO within 72 hours because when I got out, I ended up going to the ER for the 2 days, and then after I got out, I right away contacted my PO, let her know what happened, and she knew I stay at my mother's house, and I started complying with them doing the appointments I had to do, which was all compliance with all my appointments. I've not missed one, and I've been in treatment since then. I've been in classes, and I have all files and everything, and she was aware of that too. My mother even contacted her, letting everything know. And when they told me to go visit my PO, even though I knew I had a warrant today, I still went down there to go talk to my probation officer. And he said that when I came down there, all I had was a warrant for just not complying. He said they was going to drop the warrant when I came in. And I was told by other people not to go, but I still decided to do the right thing, to show up, to get everything squashed. And I was doing classes, and I had a placement to go to Hopes. And I had appointments today to go to get back on more meds, and I couldn't go because this happened. They brought me in.
Okay. So it looks like the warrants were issued after, they were issued in June, after you were released in.
That's what happened in June. It's 2 days, 2 days later, that's when that happened.
Okay, so you're going to have to deal with this with probation. So these are their warrants that they have put out. And this court is affirming them because based on the facts, you did violate those things. And so there's, support for their request. So this court's going to affirm it. They are secured. If you use a bail bondsman, you may be able to get out. If not, you'll be taken to the probation violation hearings, and you can explain it to the probation judge at that time. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Please step to your left. Fahim Wilson, please come to the podium. After that, Christopher Cruz, have a seat by the door. Okay. Please state your name and date of birth.
Fahim Wilson, age 1583.
You're here today on a Superior Court failure to appear bench warrant, and this is an open case. It's regarding dangerous drug use, which is a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, which is a Class 6 felony. They have requested $500 bond, and this court has affirmed that. It's a secured appearance bond, so you can use a bail bondsman. If you do make that bond, please be sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. An attorney has been appointed for you. Your next hearing is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. All of this will be written on your paperwork. please step to your left. Christopher Cruz, please come to the podium. Emily Johnson, have a seat by the door. Please state your name and date of birth.
Christopher Silva Cruz, 10/31/1984.
You're here today on a justice court warrant. There are allegations of DUI, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor, as well as another type of DUI, so one with liquor, one with drugs, same Class 1 misdemeanor.
Okay.
So because this is a Class 1 misdemeanor, the attorney you would get would be at Santan Justice Court. It would be appointed at your next hearing. I don't have authority to appoint one there. There is a cash-only bond requested. They requested $680. I am moving that down to $500 because this was from the initial arrest warrant. So if you can pay $500 cash, you would be released today. If you do that, make sure not to drive without a valid license, not to drink any alcohol until your next hearing, which is July 9th at 8:30 a.m. And if you are out of custody, please contact the Santan Justice Court, and I've included their phone number on your paperwork.
Okay. Being that I've been in custody since for over a week now, would that be able to help any with the bond?
So they're asking $680. I bumped it down to $500. It is cash, though. You need to go and take care of this at the Santan Justice Court.
Right.
Yeah. So $500 is a very reasonable amount.
Okay. Is there any way we can do it as secured?
So it's only $500 cash, so I'm going to decline that. This court was going to find it's $500 cash. I know this is a justice court bond, so it's a little unusual, but they are asking for a lot more, and you didn't go to your first hearing for this. So it's really important that you show up, and if the court needs to assist you in that by keeping you in custody to make sure you get to your hearing, that can happen.
Okay.
Okay, it's all on your paperwork. Please step to your left.
Okay, thank you.
Emily Johnson, please come to the podium. Danielle Della Sala, have a seat by the chair. Please state your name and date of birth.
Emily Ann Johnson Karczewski, 8/29/1991.
You're here today on two different matters. They are both Superior Court failure to appear bench warrants. On the first one, the failure to appear probation revocation arraignment, there is just a $25 bond. And on the second one, it is a $500 cash-only bond, and that's also for failure to appear, and that's on a status conference. For both of these hearings, there will be an attorney to assist you, and your hearing date is July 9th at 8:30 and then July 10th at 8:30, and there'll be attorneys there to assist you with these matters. If you do make the bond, make sure to keep the court updated with your address and contact your probation officer within 72 hours. All of this information is on your paperwork. Please step to your left.
All right, thank you.
Danielle Della Sala, please come to the podium. Miguel Trijo, please have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Daniel De La Sala, 02/06/1981.
You're here today on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. Looks like it was a petition to revoke your probation that you failed to attend. The violated terms are 3, 5, and 7. This court is affirming the PTR request, which is a $500 secured bond. If you do make that bond, make sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. An attorney is appointed to assist you at your next hearing, which is July 10th at 8:30 in the morning. All of this will be on your paperwork. And, yeah, you just have the one. Please step to your left.
I'm here from DOC.
You are here from DOC.
Can I get a sooner court date?
You know, July 10th is the soonest that it's scheduled, and I apologize, I didn't realize you were here from DOC. So
It's fine.
you know that you want to get this taken care of first.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Miguel Trejo, please come to the podium. After that, Mandy Hunter, please have a seat by the door. Just one moment, please. All right, thank you so much for your patience. Please state your name and date of birth.
08/24/1999.
Could you repeat your date of birth, please?
08/24/1999.
Is it August?
08/24.
Okay,
08/24/1999.
thank you. That makes it easier for me to hear. I appreciate that. You're here today on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. An attorney has been assigned for you. Your next hearing is July 10th at 8:30. You violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation. This court is affirming the probation suggested bond of $250. That's secured $250. If you do make bond, you need to contact your probation officer within 72 hours and follow the release conditions. All of this is on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Mandy Hunter, please come to the podium. After that, Carolyn Bird, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Mandy Hunter, July 3rd, 83.
You're here today on a Superior Court failure to appear bench warrant. It looks like it was a pretrial conference that you weren't there, and the bond they requested is $250. This court is going to affirm that. An attorney has been appointed for you, and your next hearing date is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. If you are released, please make sure to follow the conditions of release that are all posted on your paperwork.
Ma'am, would that also include, would I still contact pretrial services, because I was released to pretrial services the last time, so do I still call them when I get out?
I didn't order that this time. It didn't seem to help. Would you like to try that again?
No, I just wanted to make sure I didn't violate any kind of...
All right, no, this time the bond is $250, and you need to make sure you appear so that you don't get another warrant.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Step to your left. Carolyn Bird, please come to the podium. After that, Jacob Elbert, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Carolyn Bird, May 24th, 1982.
You're here today on two matters. One is a Superior Court arrest warrant. This is from a direct complaint from February 2025. There's a bond set at $100. I've appointed an attorney to assist you.
Okay.
The allegations here were dangerous and narcotic drug possession, both Class 4 felonies, drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony, and then false reporting to law enforcement, which is a misdemeanor. Your hearing is July 9th at 8:30 in the morning. The bond, like I said, is $100. It's a secured appearance bond. And then because you do have probation, there is a the second one for you is a municipal court warrant for disorderly conduct, which is a Class 1 misdemeanor.
Okay.
So in this one, I have appointed an attorney for you because I'm setting bond.
Okay, thank you.
And the reason I'm setting bond is if you are still in custody, then MCSO will transport you.
Okay, how much is the bond?
Okay, $25.
Okay, okay.
And your hearing here is for surprise municipal court.
Yeah.
And that's on July 8th at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So that's actually before your
Superior.
Yeah, before the Superior Court one.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
So all of this is printed out on your paperwork.
Okay.
Yep, and all the information, including your release conditions, are on there too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, please step to your left.
Thank you.
Jacob Albert, please come to the podium. Christina Smith, have a seat by the door. State your name and date of birth.
Jacob Albert, 5/15/79.
You're here today on a Superior Court probation violation warrant. They have alleged that you violated terms 3 and 5 of your probation, and the probation bond is set at $100. It's secured. If you make this bond, be sure to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. I've also appointed an attorney for you because there's bond there, and your next hearing is on July 10th at 8:30 a.m. All of this will be on your paperwork. Please step to your left. Christina Smith, please come to the podium. And after that will be Janielle Alashwa. Christina Smith, please state your name and date of birth.
Christina Smith, 5470.
You're here today on a Superior Court arrest warrant. It appears that there is a direct complaint bond from March 2024 out for you, and it was $50 secured. If you make this bond, be sure to go to your next hearing, which is on July 9th at 8:30 in the morning, and an attorney will represent you.
Perfect.
Your hearing will be about the narcotic and drug charges, Class 4 felony, and the drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. So please be sure to keep the court updated with your address so this doesn't happen again.
Thank you.
Yeah, everything is on your paperwork. Please step to your left.
Thank you, Yasmin.
Janielle Alashwa, please come to the podium. State your name and date of birth.
Janelle Elashwa, 1/30/1990.
You're here today on a justice court warrant for assault, which is a misdemeanor. Due to the nature of the charge, this court cannot appoint counsel for you because it's a misdemeanor, but you can hire your own attorney to represent you or represent yourself. Your next hearing is going to be in the Hassayampa Justice Court, and that's on July 23rd at 9 a.m. This court would like to release you today on your promise to go to that hearing. Okay. I've included the Justice Court's phone number also. In case you need assistance getting there, you should call them and talk to them. Make sure that you don't drive without a valid license and no drugs without a valid prescription. The rest of your conditions of release will all be on your paperwork. Please step to your left.
Your Honor, sorry, I have two that have a question, I'm not sure.
Yes, I want to discuss, I had a couple questions about our release conditions. My name is Devian Gardner Jones.
Number 37.
November 6, 2000.
Right.
Yeah, I had a couple questions about my release conditions that I wanted to discuss. So, as you know, I'm on parole. I was recently released from prison. Since I've been home, I've done nothing but my SAGE classes, and I've been being a dad. So my release, my bond is $50,000.
Yes, it is.
Honestly, I haven't had a job. I have no way to make that money. Like, I wanted to know if there was possible, like, if you could check my record. I've never missed a court date. I have no problem checking in. If possible, getting released on an ankle bracelet or pretrial services or anything like that. Like, me and my parole officer are in great communication. I've never been a flight risk. I've never ran away from anybody. Like.
So, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
You know that you're not supposed to have a weapon.
On my time.
You know that you're not supposed to have a weapon.
Honestly, Your Honor, these are all allegations. Because I was not found with any weapon when I was arrested. There was no weapon on me. They did the GSR test when I got here, but there was no weapon found in my. It was the man at Hungry Howie said. They said multiple people said that I had a weapon. When the police arrested me, they found no weapon. They asked those guys, what weapon did he have? They said, oh, we thought he had a this or he could have had a that. When the police watched the video, they said it could have been.
Okay. So based on the information I have before me today, yes, which is included in the Form 4 complaint, it's what the law enforcement officers fill out.
Okay.
There is substantial evidence, and that is why I found probable cause. So probable cause means that I believe that what they said in their report is most likely true. You are innocent until found guilty, absolutely, but my reading of this says what they're alleging has some merit.
Mm-hmm.
And so based on this, the allegation that you had a weapon is somewhat true. I understand you're arguing against it, and that is a good argument to make in front of the judge who actually hears your case and determines innocence and guilt. But today, looking at your criminal history and looking at the charges that will be filed, $50,000 is a reasonable amount.
I'm 24 years old. I haven't had a job since I've been from prison. Like I don't have $50,000. Like, but my kids just got me back. My son's birthday. Like you give me 2 ankle monitors, but I just like.
And I understand that.
Can you can't reduce that 50,000 to nothing lower, like $50,000?
It's secured, which means you can use a bail bondsman.
Yeah, but even that's $5,000 with collateral. I don't.
Yeah. This court is going to stay at that.
All right, thank you.
And then the interpreter is connected already.
Thank you. For the court interpreter, could you please announce?
Buenas, yo soy la intérprete que lo va a asistir hoy día.
Can you tell me what your name is, court interpreter?
Yes, it's Flor Adams.
And Flora Adams, have you interpreted for courts before?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Okay. Would you be willing to swear or affirm that you will translate exactly what I say and exactly what the defendants say back and forth to each other?
If you want to, I could transfer you for another interpreter then.
Well, if you are confident and you could swear or affirm that you will translate our words exactly, I'm happy to use you.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's better that I transfer you to another interpreter.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Thank you for calling. This is Alejandra. How can I help you?
Is this a Spanish interpreter language line? Can you hear me?
No, sorry, I'm going to transfer you to a Spanish.
Thank you.
Hold for the next available interpreter.
Spanish interpreter 211118. My name is Brenda.
Hi, Brenda. My name is Commissioner Gentry. I'm at the initial appearance court hearing, and we have several people who need your assistance if you can translate Spanish.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, and I just need to ask you if you can swear or affirm that you will directly translate my words exactly as I say them and the defendant's words exactly as they say them.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Could you please, and I'll just go ahead and start now, and if you can just please directly translate, and I will make sure to pause to give you time. This is This is the 8 p.m. initial appearance calendar for July 3rd, 2025.
Este sería la visita inicial de las 8 p.m. de hoy, de esta fecha, del 3 de julio 2025.
This court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar shall apply to all matters on this calendar.
Esta audiencia será para tomar el ADN y huellas digitales que se hicieron en la primera audiencia sobre el calendario.
Please call Mr. Geraldo Villalobos to the podium.
Hablamos a Geraldo Villalobos hacia el podio.
Please state your name and date of birth.
Gerardo Nájera Villalobos.
Diga su fecha de nacimiento.
7 de diciembre del 82.
December 7th, 82.
Sí.
You're here today on a Superior Court failure to appear warrant.
Necesitaba traductor. ¿No?
Usted está presente hoy en la Corte Superior sobre una falla de aparecer a la audiencia.
The charges were dangerous drug possession and drug paraphernalia possession.
Los cargos eran sobre la posesión de artículos para el uso en droga y por poseer droga peligrosa.
Ese lo anularon. Okay.
This is a Class 4 felony and a Class 6 felony.
Esta es una demanda sobre una clase 4 y 6 delito.
I have appointed an attorney for you.
Le he asignado un abogado.
Your next hearing is July 9th at 8:30 a.m.
Su siguiente audiencia será el día 9 de julio a las 8:30. I'm sorry, ma'am. Did you say p.m.? I just want to verify.
a.m. in the morning.
I apologize. Perdón, repito de nuevo. Su siguiente audiencia será el día 9 de julio a las 8:30 a.m.
A bond is set at $500 secured.
Habrá una fianza establecida de $500, debe ser asegurada.
If you pay the bond, make sure to go to your hearing.
Si usted paga esta fianza, debe asegurarse de asistir a la audiencia.
The other conditions of release will be on your paperwork.
Las otras condiciones de haber sido permitido salir aparecen sobre los documentos que debe recibir.
Do you have a question, sir?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta?
Supuestamente los cargos esos los habían anulado porque pagué todo está bien. Good.
That supposedly the charges were supposed to be annulled because I paid. He pauses and then he says everything is fine.
It's fine.
Okay. Thank you. It's on your paperwork. Step to the left. We have two more matters. If you can stay on the line, thank you. The next person is Jose Diaz.
La siguiente persona sería José Díaz.
Please state your name and date of birth.
Por favor, diga su nombre y fecha de nacimiento.
José Luis Ortiz Díaz, 11-29-98.
José Luis Díaz, 11-29-98.
You're here today on a Superior Court failure to appear warrant.
Usted está presente hoy sobre una demanda de aparecer, su falla de aparecer a la Corte Superior.
Your case involves discharging a firearm in city limits, which is a Class 6 felony.
El delito sería utilizar una arma en un sitio público. Es un delito de grado 6.
I've appointed an attorney for you.
Le he asignado un abogado.
Your next hearing is July 9th, 8:30 a.m.
Su siguiente cita será el día 9 de julio a las 8:30 a.m.
Your bond is set at cash only $10,000.
La fianza sería $10,000 solamente en dinero efectivo.
The rest of your conditions of release are printed on your paperwork.
Las condiciones adicionales aparecen en los documentos que debe recibir.
Okay.
Step to your left, please.
Hacia la izquierda, por favor.
Ostani Alvarez, please come to the podium.
Acérquese a Stani Álvarez.
Hola.
State your name and date of birth.
Por favor, diga su nombre, fecha de nacimiento.
Ojani Osorio Álvarez, 1976.
Stani Álvarez, 1976.
You're here today on the Superior Court failure to appear warrant.
Usted está hoy aquí debido a una falla de aparecer hacia la Corte Superior.
And you have two of these failure to appear warrants.
Existen dos de este mismo tipo de demanda.
I've appointed an attorney for you.
Y le he asignado un abogado.
Your first hearing will be July 9th at 8:30 in the morning.
Su primera audiencia será el día 9 de julio a las 8:30 de la mañana.
You have a secured bond in both matters of $500.
Existe una fianza asegurada por la cantidad de $500 en las dos situaciones.
So that's $1,000 secured total.
O sea, un total de $1,000 asegurado.
Please contact your probation officer within 72 hours if you do post bond.
Comuníquese con su gerente de libertad condicional dentro de 72 horas si es que usted paga esta fianza.
The other conditions of your release are written on your paperwork.
Las otras condiciones sobre haber sido dado de alta aparecen en los documentos que debe recibir.
And he had a question. Go ahead.
¿Tiene usted una pregunta? Dígame.
Señoría, yo pagué la fianza, esa fianza la pagué el día 8 el día 8 de febrero y me estuvo aquí, pagué la fianza $750 y el AI me llegó el 17 de febrero para el AI. Estuve 5 meses en el AI y hoy ayer casualmente me trajeron para acá otra vez para lo mismo. Pero no fue culpa mía no presentarme a la audiencia.
He says he paid a fine on February 8th, $750, but then he was moved to another location, so it wasn't his fault that he wasn't able to appear.
Yo no estoy en desacuerdo yo puedo pagar los $1,000 ahora otra vez, y me vuelvo a coger ahí entonces, por eso que no lo pago. No fue mi culpa, pero yo pago otra vez si tengo que pagarlo.
He is willing to pay the fine, the $1,000, excuse me. It's not a problem, but he says it was not his fault that he was not able to appear.
Okay. So this is a secured bond, and if you pay it and you attend, I believe you'll get some of this money back unless you use a bail bondsman.
Es una fianza asegurada y debe recibir una cantidad, le deben de regresar una cantidad, solamente que use un sitio de fianza.
Okay. 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 Now, Are you currently in custody at Pinal County?
Actualmente está bajo custodia en el condado de Pinal.
No, estuve 5 meses, me procesaron y entonces, como no pueden mandarme para Cuba, porque Cuba no tiene deportación, usted sabe cómo son las leyes de este país, me volvieron a traer para acá, porque yo hasta más le dije, cuando yo estaba procesado, que yo tenía una corte, que por favor, se lo imploré, que tenía una corte para no perder la corte y nunca me trajeron a la corte. Y entonces yo no sé por qué me volvieron a mandar para acá, sabiendo ellos que yo esa corte la había pedido ya.
He says he was there for five times because they were unable to deport him to Cuba because of the situation that they don't accept deportees. And he implored them to allow him to attend the court. He told them it was really important, but they wouldn't allow him. He's not sure why.
Okay. I've reviewed your criminal history and all the different charges that are included.
He hecho un reviso de su historial criminal y todos los cargos incluidos.
And it looks like you only have 2 failure to appears from March.
Y miro que solamente aparecen las 2 fallas de aparecer en marzo.
So I believe this bond at $500 is still reasonable.
Así que creo que la fianza de $500 aún así es razonable.
So this court is going to keep the bonds at $500 each, $1,000 total.
Así que la corte va a mantener la fianza en $500 por cada situación, o sea, un total de $1,000.
If you do not post bond, you will be transported to the hearing by the county office or by the sheriff.
Si usted no paga esta fianza, lo llevará el sheriff hacia la audiencia.
Okay. It's all on your paperwork.
Yo pago la fianza y me dejarán libre.
If I pay the fine, will they let me go free?
With your promise to go to the hearing, yes.
Si prometa acudir a la audiencia, sí.
Sí.
Okay, yeah?
Sí.
Okay.
Yo tengo babies.
Okay, it's on your paperwork. Please
Gracias.
step to your left.
Gracias.
Todo aparece sobre los documentos hacia su izquierda.
Thank you very much, interpreter. I'm
Yes.
sorry, is it Brenda? Thank you for your services this evening.
Yes,
we are done with the language, and you could be excused. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. I went back through his criminal history, and he's got a ton. So, okay, I'm going to read into the record the house call.
Okay, and then, did you get the H2 and everything? Okay.
Yeah, let me get that done. Warrant.
Sorry.
No problem. This one, save, and signed. Okay. I'm going to begin reading in the house calls we'll make tonight. The first person is Osdani Alvarez, date of birth 9/6/1976. He's here on two matters, number 22 and 23. 22. Oh, thank you. Sorry. I should have recognized his picture. Okay, so we're moving down to Paul Naiman, item number 24, date of birth 7/15/1980. It's a new Superior Court case. The allegations are burglary, class 4 felony, assault, class 1 misdemeanor, resisting arrest, class 1 misdemeanor. This court found probable cause. An attorney has been appointed. The next hearing is July 9th at 8:30. A secured bond of $10,000 was set. If he does make that bond, he should not return to the Circle K at 2041 West Van Buren Street. The next and this Mr. Paul Naiman is combative. For Powell James Parker, he is apparently still intoxicated, so it would not be safe for ourselves or him to appear in person. We'll go back and speak to him at his cell. Date of birth 6/28/1978. He has three matters, number 40, 41, and 42. The first is a justice court warrant. A secured bond is being placed at $25. This is a placeholder because of his next matter, which is number 41, which is a purge bond from a child support arrest warrant, and they would like $1,000. This court will affirm that. And then his last matter, number 42, is disorderly conduct, which is a class 1 misdemeanor, as well as assault, which is class 3 misdemeanor. These will be at a hearing in Peoria Municipal Court on July 8th at 9 a.m. I did appoint an attorney for him, but only for the matter of bond, which I set at $25 as a placeholder so he could be transported just in case he's not able to pay his child support purge warrant. And the same thing is for his first matter, number 40, because that is at Santan Justice Court, July 9th at 8:30 a.m. All of this paperwork will be provided to both defendants, and if there are any changes, they will be reflected in the written orders. It is not my intention to return to this recording, and so at this time, the 8 p.m. July 3rd IA calendar is in recess until 11 p.m.
All right. Please be seated. All right, we're going to proceed in the following manner this evening. We're going to call two people at a time. The first person will stand up at the podium. The second person will sit in the chair by the door, be ready for the next case that will be called. But first, this is the 11 p.m. calendar, initial appearance calendar for July the 3rd. The court's orders for the taking of DNA and fingerprints that were given on the first calendar, first day of the month, remain in effect. All right, first person we're going to see this evening is David Medina. He'll be followed by Paul Warren. So step up to the podium, please, and tell me your name and date of birth.
David Medina, March 20, 1995.
All right, so you're here on three cases. The first, number 2 on the calendar, is a probation violation for a class 6 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. The judge, when they issued the warrant, set a bond in the amount of $500, so that's a secured appearance bond of $500 on this case. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with any witnesses or victims. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date on this case will be a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Number 3 is another probation violation warrant for a Class 6 felony. Once again, the bond was set in the amount of $500. The release conditions are exactly the same as is your court date of July the 10th at 8:30. Lastly, number 4 on the calendar is the last probation violation. Once again, the public defender is appointed, bond $500. Release conditions are the same as is the court date of July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
Thank you, sir. You can step back over there then. Paul Warren will be followed by Chad Inman. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Paul Aaron Warren, 1778.
All right. So you're here on a justice court warrant on the charge of criminal trespassing, a Class 3 misdemeanor. The court's found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you at this point for the limited purpose of the bond pursuant to Rule 6.1b. Your bond in this case is set in the amount of $250. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be an arraignment hearing in the El Centro Justice Court on July the 9th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step over there. Chad Inman will be followed by Kelly Avila. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Chad Michael Inman, 07/19/1997.
All right, thank you, sir. Sir, you're here on 2 cases. Looks like they're both probation violations. First is a Class 4 felony. The court's found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, bond has been set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date will be a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Number 6 is another probation violation for Class 5 felony. Bond was also set in that case in the amount of $500. The release conditions are exactly the same. And also, as I didn't state, the public defender is appointed. Your court date is also July the 10th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
Thank you, sir. Kelly Avilar, followed by Oscar Cota. Sir, your name, please.
Kelly Avilar.
And your date of birth.
July 28, 1974.
So you're here on a probation violation, Superior Court warrant on a Class 4 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $750. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you must contact the probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date will be a probation revocation disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
Nothing.
All right, thank you, sir. Mr. Kotza will be followed by Andrew Maestros. Sir, please state your name.
Oscar Cota,
And your date of birth, sir.
July 14, 2000.
All right, so you're here on a Superior Court failure to appear bench warrant on the charge of unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle, Class 5 felony. The legal advocate's already been appointed to represent you in this case. In this case, there's a cash-only appearance bond set in the amount of $1,000. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference, post-warrant status conference in the downtown Superior Court on July the 9th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yes, I remember I took a plea deal. Is that all I need just to get sentenced?
Yes, although the plea could be withdrawn because you failed to appear, the judge could impose jail time, but...
Yeah, even though I was in federal custody the whole time?
Probably not. I think you probably just get sentenced, but
Okay.
that'll be up to the judge.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Andrew will be followed by Kishasha Baldwin. Sir, your name, please.
Andrew Joseph Maestas,
And your date of birth, sir.
November 10th, 1988.
So you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant on a Class 5 felony. Court has found you to be indigent and has ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. There's been a secured appearance bond set in your case in the amount of $750. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription, or drive without a valid driver's license, you're not to possess any weapons. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date will be a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
Yeah, I want to know how this kind of works because I'm on federal probation as well. Now, my federal probation had me go to rehab, right? So I went to rehab and I was there. I was in CCA for 21 days, and and they released me to rehab. I was in rehab. It was a 45-day program. I got kicked out of there 38 days into it by one of the staff members who illegally did this. I got trespassed from there. So I kind of had to do this for state as well. So I was kind of killing two birds with one stone.
Mm-hmm.
So when they trespassed me, it was actually it was like an injustice. I don't know how to really say it like that.
That's fine, but I mean, that's really not anything I can do, but that is something that your attorney will very much want to know.
Well, right.
As will the judge on the 10th.
Well, I just didn't know how this really if I'm able to talk to you because I'm not doing anything wrong. I got kicked out, and my federal judge told me that I didn't have to go to rehab. I was able to do IOP and stuff but my state is violating me for not doing rehab, even though I got kicked out for something that had nothing to do with I didn't even do anything. So I'm in here for nothing right now.
Well, they also said that you failed to self-surrender to the jail on July the 11th to serve the jail term that you were given on March 27th.
July 11th?
June the 11th, excuse me. It says, term 13, defendant did not self-surrender on June the 11th to serve the jail term as instructed on June 27th.
I didn't know why I had to turn myself in.
The judge gave you an order of confinement when they sentenced you. It was also a term of your probation.
No, I got kicked out of...
Sir, we're done talking. You can explain this to the judge, but I mean, there's a valid warrant. I set a bond, and I can't do anything else tonight.
Oh, well, okay. Thanks for all the help.
You're very welcome. Baldwin will be followed by Dustin Morgan. Sir, your name, please?
Kishasa Baldwin.
Okay, and your date of birth, sir?
5/16/82.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, sir, you're in a probation violation for a Class 6 felony. The court has found you to be indigent and appointed the public defender to represent you. On this case, a secured appearance bond has been set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with the arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date on this case will be a probation revocation disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court.
So I'll go home?
not until the 10th, unless you post a $500 bond. The bond was set in the amount of $500.
Okay, and is there any way we can move the bond? I'm in the middle of my work situation. I had to work on transportation first, and that's the reason why I'm in this situation. Like there's no buses where I'm at. Mm-hmm. So I just put together some transportation so I can be able to do what I got to do as far as moving forward and paying you guys. But there was not no transportation where I was at.
Yeah, it looks like you had a bond before, and the bond was forfeited. Yeah, sir, the $500 bond is really about as low as you can go given the situation in this case. When you go to court on the 10th, the judge theoretically could reinstate you on probation or do something else.
Yeah, but in between now and the 10th, I'll be able to come up with some change. I need to be able to be around more people. Like I said, this whole time I had no transportation, and I drive for a living. So I've been having a major problem. Okay. But now that I'm able to have transportation now, I'm moving forward. And
let's check one last thing, sir, that I think it's pretty unlikely, but I just want to make sure I've got everything.
I'm not lazy at all, man.
Yeah, sir, you had a $250 bond that you posted. Right. You failed to appear. The bond is being forfeited. You don't generally go from having a $250 bond, failing to appear, and then getting something better than that.
Yeah, but
so the bond is $500. That actually is a very low bond given the situation. So yeah, you can talk. That's all I can do tonight, sir.
All right, I was just saying, just because I have nothing, I have to actually sit down with somebody and try to get it. Most likely, I'm not going to get it. But since I got through my transportation problem, I know I'm going to be able to get it myself. But okay. I got to be able to be in a situation where I can...
sir, until the 10th, your bond is...
I can't do nothing here.
Yeah, that's as low as it's going to go. You can step back to where you were, sir. Justin Morgan. Sir, please tell me your name and date of birth.
Dustin Morgan, March 10th, 1986.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. Sir, you're here on the charges of possessing dangerous drugs, Class 4 felony, narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. The court has found probable causes to those charges. The court has found you to be indigent and ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. In this case, there's a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $1,000. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court and proof of your local address. Your next court date will be a status conference on July the 9th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 11th in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
So if I posted the bond, I would still be locked up because I have detainers, right?
You would.
Okay, so there's no reason to bond out.
Yeah, you just wouldn't be getting credit for the time that you're doing. So yeah, in your case, it would be foolish, but people can make whatever choice they want to make.
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. You can step back over there. William Brown will be next, followed by Raja Colt. Sir, please state your name.
William Brown.
And your date of birth, sir?
3/18/87.
Thank you, sir. So you're here on a justice court warrant of the County Meadows Justice Court on the charges of assault, criminal damage, and disorderly conduct, all misdemeanors. The court has found you to be indigent, appointed the public defender pursuant to Rule 6.1B for the limited purpose regarding the bond issue. Your bond is set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, you're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court and proof of your local address. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on July the 9th at 8:30 in the Country Meadow Justice Court.
It'd be an arraignment. I should be already going to trial for this matter.
The arraignment's just the first day after a bench warrant.
Oh, okay.
So then they'll affirm trial dates or whatever. But when you're picked up on a warrant, the first hearings they have in justice courts are what they call an arraignment hearing.
Oh, okay. I was thinking that it was just it's an old matter actually. I just had 2 court dates on the same day. That's why I didn't take care of it.
Yeah, I actually set the bond slightly lower than what the justice court was asking, so that's really all we can do tonight, sir. Thank you, though. You can step back over there. Mr. Holt will be followed by Dondre Niles. Sir, step up to the podium, please, and tell me your name and date of birth.
Rasha Holt.
And your date of birth, sir.
Rasha Holt.
And your date of birth.
8/21/1971.
Thank you, sir. Sir, you're here charged with being a prohibited possessor in possession of a firearm. It's a Class 4 felony, also a misdemeanor DUI. The court has found probable cause. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. Bond on this case has been set as a secured appearance bond of $7,500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate any contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any weapons. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date would be a status conference on July the 9th at 8:30 in the Superior Court in downtown Phoenix, with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 11th. Do you have any questions, sir?
I got a bond.
Yes, sir.
So,
$7,500 total bond, but you can go through a bonding company because it's not a cash-only bond, it's a secured bond.
so it's $750.
If you go through a bonding company, that would be their fee, and some type of collateral generally would be required.
My vehicle.
That's up to you in the bonding company. I can't give you any advice on bonds.
$750.
That's generally what the fee they charge, but that's up to every bonding company. So if you could step back over there, please.
All right.
Niles will be followed by Roberto Mercado. Sir, please state your name.
DeAndre Niles.
And your date of birth, sir.
12389.
All right, sir, you're here on a warrant of the University Lakes Justice Court. It's a warrant on the charge of criminal trespassing, a misdemeanor. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, the counsel is appointed for the limited purpose regarding the bond issue. Bond was set in the amount of $100. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date will be an arraignment hearing on July the 9th at 8:30 in the University Lakes Justice Court. Do you have any questions, sir? All right, thank you, sir. Just step back over there. Mercado will be followed by, Julissa Martinez. Do we have Roberto Mercado in the? Sir, please state your name.
Robert Mercado Jr.
And your date of birth, sir.
March 27, 1995.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, you're here on 3 cases. Number 33 on the calendar is the Superior Court probation violation warrant for Class 4 felony. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to reside at an address you provide the court, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours. Your next court date will be a probation revocation possible disposition hearing on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Number 34 is another probation violation for Class 6 felony. Once again, the public defender is appointed to represent you. Bond was also set in the amount of $500. The release conditions are exactly the same as is your court date of July the 10th. Number 35 is your last probation violation for Class 6 felony. Once again, the public defender is appointed. Once again, bond $500. The release conditions are exactly the same as is your court date of July the 10th. Do you have any questions, sir?
No.
All right, thank you. So you can step back.
Good.
Ms. Martinez, will be followed by Christopher Cars. And please step up to the podium and tell me your name and date of birth.
Jalissa Martinez, 9/23/97.
All right. Ma'am, you're here on two cases. First, number 14 on the calendar is a probation violation matter. The court has found you to be indigent. Actually, it's not a probation violation. It's a bench warrant from the Superior Court. You were in deferred prosecution. They've reinstated prosecution, and the charges are back on the charges of possessing narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony, possessing drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. The legal defender has already been appointed to represent you. On this case, there's a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $500. If you post the bond, you're not to have any contact with the arresting officers. No drugs without a valid prescription. No driving without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. Your next court date on this case will be a post-warrant status conference on July the 9th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court.
Okay.
Number 13 is a new charge of possession of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. The legal defender has also been appointed to represent you on this case. On this case, there's a secured appearance bond of $500. The release conditions are otherwise exactly the same. Your court date is a status conference on July the 9th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 11th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, ma'am? All right, thank you, ma'am. You can step back over there. Christopher Cars, we follow, no, that will be it. I'll wait. All right.
Christopher Cars, 11/25/1970.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay, I see what the situation is. All right, so you're here on two cases. First, number 1 on the calendar is a new charge of 2 counts of aggravated DUI, Class 4 felonies. 2 counts of aggravated DUI being a third felony, or third DUI, also Class 4 felony, and 1 count of possessing dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony. The court has found you to be indigent, so ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, you're not entitled to bond because you were on felony release at the time of this offense. Therefore, on this case, at this point, you'll be held non-bondable. You will have you'll have an evidentiary hearing in about a week to determine whether or not it should be continued to be held without bond. But at this point, you're going to be held without bond. If that changes, if you're released at some point, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers, no weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription, no driving without a valid driver's license. You continue to provide court proof of your local address, and you're to contact your probation officer within 72 hours of your release. Your next court date on this case will be a status conference on July the 9th at 8:30, a evidentiary hearing regarding the bond issue on July the 10th at 1:30, and a preliminary hearing on July the 11th. On number 37 on the calendar, this is a probation violation. On this case, there's a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $200. If you post the bond, the release conditions are the same as your other case. Your court date on this will be probation revocation arraignment, possible disposition here on July the 10th at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. Do you have any questions, sir?
I have 2 on the 10th. Are they?
They're both in the Superior Court, so that will not be a problem.
Okay, they'll be covered at the same time.
Yes. All right.
Yes. So there is no bond, not bondable.
At this point, you're not bondable. That can change when you have your evidentiary hearing next week. All right. Thank you, sir. All already did that one. All right, so I'm gonna make a record while we do get rid of some people.
For who?
Well, we're gonna do number 8 last.
Okay.
But I'll make a record on number 38. I saw her before the calendar started. She was being taken to the hospital, so I did the IA in the medical part of the jail. Bond was set in the amount of $5,000 on that case. So that's that one. The other house calls, number 15, court's inclination is a bond of $1,000. Number 16, the court's inclination is a bond of $500. Number 10, Mr. Walker, 10, 11, and 12, they each have a separate bond of $2,500. Number 36 has a $500 bond. If the court does not follow its inclination as to Mr. Jackson, Mr. Walker, the court will come back on the record after the house calls and correct anything on that. All right, is everybody gone but him? Can you have him step up?
Yes, Your Honor. Come on.
Thank you, officer. This will be number 8 on the calendar. Sir, step up to the podium, please, and tell me your name and date of birth.
Both, what, first and last, or just first?
Yeah, your whole name.
I have 2 last names.
That's fine.
Noah LeVar Monaghan,
All right,
and then 06-2106.
Okay, so you've been charged with 1 count of sexual exploitation of a minor. It's a Class 2 felony, dangerous crime against children. The court has found you to be indigent. It's ordered appointing the public defender to represent you. On this case, there's been a secured appearance bond set in the amount of $20,000. If you post the bond, you're not to initiate contact with any arresting officers. You're prohibited from accessing the internet through any electronic means. The exception would be work-only internet access. You're not to possess any drugs without a valid prescription or drive without a valid driver's license. You're to continue to provide court proof of your local address. You must submit to DNA testing and fingerprinting at the local police agency. Your next court date will be a status conference on July the 9th at 8:30 with a possible preliminary hearing on July the 11th at 8:30. Do you have any questions, sir? All right, thank you, sir. All right, officer, before I do the house calls, I've got some warrants I'm going to take care of. All right. All right, so we've got